Hi, I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery in Indianapolis, Indiana.
And I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics, located in Southgate, Kentucky.
And welcome to Wheel Talk.
Hey guys, we've loved answering all of your questions so far. If you'd like to hear your question on the podcast, please send them to us on Instagram at Wheel Talk Podcast or by email to wheeltalkpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks.
Oh, sweet. I was walking outside today and I was thinking about how wonderful it is not to care what you look like at all. Like, I wake up and I could, literally dress myself in the dark. I don't care. And I walked outside and I was like, you know what? This is fucking great. I don't have to worry about a goddamn thing. And it's hot as hell. And I look like shit. And I don't give a fuck. And that made me feel really great today.
It's a glorious feeling.
It was a glorious feeling.
Yeah. I used to do hair, and I've mentioned that to you. And so it was literally part of my job to give a crap what I look like. And so now I'm like living in pajamas all day, every day, and it's the best. It's the best.
That is the best.
It is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The best.
The best. It's the best in the West.
I just have to make sure I don't wear the same shirt 2 days in a row, because if I'm on calls and stuff, people know. I mean, I did wear the shirt on Monday, so we have a day in between, but...
That's a good point.
Just feel like Mark Zuckerberg and just wear the same one every day. Get like 15 in the same shirt.
Yeah, like an Adrian Monk closet of shirts.
Yeah, I wear the same clothes frequently as the day before, but I always just cover them in mud. If I see anybody important, I usually...
I mean, you literally have like 2 pair of shoes.
Yeah, and it is not Croc season anymore. I walked outside today and I was like, fuck no, sandals it is. Like,
it's too hot.
Nope. Yeah, no on the rubber shoes.
Partially closed shoes are no good anymore. I need the airflow on my toes.
It hit 90 today and I was like, not today.
My Canadian brain is sitting here being like, your blood is boiling. What?
I know. What is 90 Celsius in Celsius?
I don't know. Hot? I have no idea.
90 Celsius.
I'm looking to see what... hold on. So it's 81 degrees right now, Fahrenheit.
What is boiling in Celsius?
100.
Okay,
it's 27 degrees right now here.
So 90 Fahrenheit. 90 Celsius is probably like 150 degrees Fahrenheit.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be 33 degrees Celsius tomorrow.
I'm going to die.
If that means anything to you. What?
I will perish. I will just explode. Hot.
Yeah. That has been a good lesson in why all of the degrees need to be the same.
The ones that make sense.
Yeah, the ones that start at 0.
0.
Anyway, yeah, what's like freezing temperature in Celsius?
0.
That's easy.
Yeah.
0 is freezing and 100 is boiling.
Yeah. Easy math.
No. No.
It gets really confusing because then when it's minus 40, I think that's... What is that? 40 is freezing in Fahrenheit, right?
32 is freezing.
32.
32? Okay. So 32 Celsius is a hot day. It's a warm day. But it's not boiling.
So wait, what is... I was... Sorry.
Boiling is 100 degrees Celsius.
I got it. I know.
And freezing is 0 degrees Celsius. You have to teach Becca the weather.
No, I just forgot.
Did you think I was talking about Fahrenheit?
No. When you said boiling, I thought me boiling outside, which was like 100 degrees, and I was like, wow. And then we were actually talking about water, and then I was like, oh, right, water, 100 degrees Celsius, wow. And then I was like, oh, And then it took me this long to figure out the boiling in Fahrenheit is 212 degrees Fahrenheit, which is over. Yeah.
Not just a arbitrary, my body is boiling number.
I'm sorry. It's been a long day. I thought it was Tuesday this morning, and then I switched my thinking and thought it was Thursday. It's,
Wow. Blew past the whole day.
I know. Wednesday didn't even fucking exist.
I've done that. I know that.
Yeah.
Rough.
Should we start?
Yeah.
We can talk about our days like a regular podcast.
Yeah, let's do that. I like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Because everybody knows who you are anyway. You've asked the most questions.
Or they've heard of you for sure.
I don't know about that.
Do you see some people that say some stuff to you because they listen to us?
I've had a few people. Yeah, a couple people have through you guys, and they've talked to me through that. But it hasn't been something like, I heard you on the podcast today. It's been mostly people that I already know, and then they listen to the podcast, and they're like, yeah. Which is cool. Yeah. It's still cool. I still like that.
Because we're two peas in a pod.
Yep.
That's what I told people to say instead of...
you did say that?
Yeah, that's what I told people to say instead of...
Did you say, like, appropriate sayings would be two peas in a pod? Or...
I was like, I feel like BFF. The peas in the pod is, like, more something, like two peas in a pod, then we're, like, friends. And,
But no BFFs. You cannot say BFFs.
No. You're out if you say BFFs.
I'm a BFF.
Best friend
I don't
forever.
Personally like it, but what's wrong with that for you?
That's a lot of commitment.
It is forever. You're right. That is so true.
A lot of commitment for Becca.
Oh. Okay. Anyway, should we start?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi.
Hi, we're live.
Hi. Guess who we have on the podcast today?
Hello.
Aleathabean. Hello.
It's me.
Our MLV. MVL.
What would a good acronym for MLV be?
Most loved volleyball.
I am down with hanging out with Tom Hanks on an island for a long time. That sounds great.
Sweet.
Well said.
I'm so glad you got that like right away because I was almost like, Wilson.
Am I the only one who sobbed about that volleyball?
Dude, it's been a long time since I've seen Castaway. I feel like I should watch it again.
I feel like
Only if you feel crying about a volleyball.
I feel like there's some video where they like break down he worked way too hard to like get to that volleyball. The whole like jump, he could have jumped off and got it and came back without getting too far. I don't know. Because he was on the rack. Some people get deep on some of these movie things or the stars in Titanic and if it matched the constellations and just watch the movie.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. I was gonna say, what I really want to watch again is The Terminal.
I've only seen that once.
Right?
Oh, I love that one. That was so good.
Yeah.
Makes me want to live in an airport.
Yeah, he makes sandwiches out of like saltine crackers and mustard and mayo. Gross.
Oh my gosh. That sounds gross.
Awful.
Disgusting.
Good to do though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're living in an airport and you have no money, sure.
Okay, Aleatha, tell us if this isn't like a precursor to what this episode is gonna be. If you don't like random conversations, completely ADHD style, don't listen. And Anyway, moving on. Aleatha, tell us who you are.
Hello. I am Aleatha of Aleathabean. I am a Canadian, and I do pottery in my basement. I have cats.
Our first Canadian. Well, like, really our first Canadian.
Did we have a partial Canadian in the past?
Well, we interviewed somebody that was Canadian, but the interview got messed up. Yeah. So we couldn't air it. So
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very curious how that went, but I won't press.
Well, nobody will hear it. So
it was just technical difficulties and stuff. So
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Aleatha, how long have you been doing pottery?
I started by taking some lessons with a fellow art community friend, Krista Cameron, here in Brockville. That was in 2018, and I immediately fell in love with it. I think it's really great. So I went out and bought everything I needed, and I put it in my second bedroom. And then, 2018, so for a year, I did it at home just as a hobby. And then COVID hit, so then I did it full time. I've been doing it full time for a year and a bit now.
So COVID was what brought you to full time?
Yeah. I did hair before, and with the lockdowns, you couldn't do hair because you're touching people. So
yeah,
I leaned into it as my side hustle, and here I am.
Yeah. Especially in Canada, because they don't like
Canada.
Canada.
I don't know.
Oh, Canada.
The land I call my home.
Should I stand up? What are we up here? Yes, yeah. They were pretty strict about these kinds of things, so we couldn't do it for, I think it was between March and June that first year that we couldn't go to work. So,
wow.
So I made pots, and it was great. It was awesome.
So you're about a year in, kind of on the side. But did you already have all the equipment when COVID hit, or you were kind of doing studio lessons and stuff?
I had all the equipment because I went insane, and I was like, I'm going to buy a kiln, I'm going to buy a wheel, I'm going to buy a give grip, I'm going to buy it all. And I did, and I'm really glad that I had it all there, because if I didn't, I would be in some trouble. Yeah. So I bought it all as a hobby, and I kind of sold commission style on the side, but I was pretty adamant that it was going to be, this is a side hustle. This is a thing that I do, and I sell it just to support the thing that I do. And and then the world fell apart, and I was like, hey, I guess I do more of this now.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like, have you been doing pretty well? How do you feel about it?
I'm busier than I can keep up with, so that's good.
That's good, great.
Yeah. I mean, I don't make as much money. If we're talking purely numbers, I don't make as much money as I did in my full-time job, but I also don't work hard. So
how long did you do your full-time job for?
15 years.
15 years of hair. Wow.
15 years versus 1 year of pottery. I think you can give yourself some fucking slack.
That is what I keep telling myself every time I pay the bills. Yeah.
Most people don't even make a profit their first year, so I certainly didn't.
Yeah, I think that's pretty normal with every business, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I broke.
Because a lot of businesses take a lot up front to just get equipment and get going, right? What's a business that is basically zero expense or very, very low expense and amazing profit?
Therapy.
Immediately. Yeah, education, talking and stuff is probably pretty low, right?
I mean,
the only thing, fact that you have to spend so much money on education to do those kinds of things.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of upfront costs.
Yeah.
Pre-job. Yeah.
Giving advice or money, but what gives you the credentials to be giving advice that you can ask people to pay you for it?
I looked it up actually recently because I was like, maybe I could become a therapist. You have to have a master's in philosophy to have a therapy, or I don't even know. I'm not smart enough to actually know what degree you're supposed to have, but you're supposed to have a master's in it to even
I don't think you
be
could
a
just
therapist.
Side hustle therapy.
And you have to have an undergraduate degree in some sort of therapy field, and then and then do the master's. You might have to have a PhD. I'm not even sure. So that seems like a lot of work that I'm not willing to do.
One of my good friends is going into therapy, like to be a therapist. And anyway, it's a lot. She's been talking about school for ages, and it's really beautiful, but it's also like, oh my God, I don't know if I can handle academia like that.
Well, I mean, you wonder how they have so much patience. And it's because if they didn't, they'd probably not make it through school, I suppose.
Right. Yeah, you have to have some pretty good stamina to get through school that many years.
Yeah.
And I'm sure those aren't just like memorization classes. Like there's a lot of thought and some like deep thinking that go into those like very, very heavy things that you're learning and stuff in that kind of education track.
Yes. Would you rather kill one child or 16 children on the train? You have to make a choice.
Oh, I hate that one. Oh. No, thank you. I'd rather be like, would you rather explode your bisqueware or wait a day? That's the kind of conundrum I want to deal with.
It's so fucking hard for me to be like, God, when I see somebody with a post of their bisqueware exploding, I'm like, is one of those like Facebook situations where you're like, just scroll past without saying a goddamn thing.
Do I want to scold them or do I want to show
It's like,
sympathy?
I know the answers
I'm just not going to say anything.
Yeah. I know the answers to your questions, but you're not asking questions, so I'm not answering.
You're like, they are not ready for the truth. They can't handle the truth.
I feel like so many of these have to be prefaced with just, I'm not looking for advice. I know I fucked up. Anyway, right. Look at my horrible mess.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Looking for sympathy. Looking
not
for
advice.
Looking for answers, you know.
We should have little tags. Okay, so tell us a little bit about what you make. You're carving a little bit, aren't you?
I carve quite a lot. I really enjoy that part. That's the part that actually, when I watch you, Ryan, and you just like run your thumb along the bottom of it, I think there's so many things you could do with the bottom of those mugs. But, that's like just because I enjoy
the bottom, or just the bottom edge.
All of it, all over the whole thing.
Yeah.
Basically, just all of it. I really enjoy throwing. So I do mostly throwing. I don't do a whole lot of hand building. I don't really enjoy it all that much. I keep trying, but every time I do it, I think it's worse. And then I realize I don't like it. So none of that. And then, I trim all my pieces, much to a lot of people's disagreement, but that's a good thing. And I carve a lot. I think that carving's a lot of fun.
You know what? It's your business and you can do whatever you fucking want.
Yeah. As long as you're pricing it appropriately for the time you spend on it, like do whatever, you know.
What are your average prices? This is great because we haven't had anybody that was new. Like, let's see, Trevor is new, but not really all that new. Because he's been doing it for a while. Have we had anybody that was like new? Like last 5 years new?
Not like full time, I don't think.
Oh. You're a first. You're the first Canadian. And the first farmer's market potter.
I'm a noob. I love it. I feel honored. Thank you. All right, so prices. Keep in mind these are Canadian prices, and I probably am not charging enough. I recently just timed myself in one of my carvings, and it took like 3 times as long as I thought it did. So I'm probably not charging enough.
Okay, hold on. Let me get my Canada to
Canadian
U.S. conversion
to U.S. dollar, 77 cents. $1 Canadian is 77
tell us
U.S.
Okay, how many dollars do you sell a mug for?
Usually, my 10 to 12 ounce mugs are $45 Canadian. How much is that American?
Okay, $34.66.
That's not enough.
Those are like carved mugs.
Yeah, hard mugs. Sometimes I'll do dip mugs, and then I feel like I should charge less for them. But really, they should be.
When we're talking carved, is it It's like a quick design, right? It's like a graphical kind of thing, and then are they inlaid color like black, and then you're glazing?
Yeah, I'll take a black wash underglaze and I'll wipe it on it and at the bisque wear stage and wipe it back.
Mm-hmm.
You look really hot in this picture.
Well, thank you. I'll take it. It's like the only time I post out selfies is when I'm in my light box looking kind of nice.
Yeah, I love those like the quick black and white carvings ones that you've been doing on the slightly speckled clay. That's just got like a white background and a colored inside.
That's probably my favorite style to do is that black and white. So
Yeah,
all those
do
carvings
people like those?
They seem to. I think if they don't, they're kind of out of luck. They're gonna have to go to someone else because that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Well,
That's good.
It really focuses on. I think the white mug just kind of sets a nice background that's not distracting, and then the black is just like pops. So it's just you can just focus on what the graphics is, and you're like, because I like to look all around, so it looks like it's all different around there. Like I would definitely pick them up and roll them around and be like, all right, that's cool. What kind of plant is that? Or
Yeah, they're a lot of fun, and every single one of them is a little bit different because I don't use a stencil or anything like that. Lately, I've been getting a kick out of these little village kind of ones where there's houses and apartments carved the whole way around, and I'll always try to hide a cat in one of the windows. That's probably my favorite part.
Fuck yes. It's like, do you remember that? What was that book? It's not Silly Town. Oh, fuck, what was it? And there was always a June bug in every page. It was, fuck. I'm cussing a lot today. I'm sorry. I'm very tired. I
don't know what you're talking about, Becca.
Is this the worm that wore a shoe?
Maybe. Was it Silly Town?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Oh shit, Silly Town. Oh, that's Blue's Clues.
That's way off.
Jeez.
That's really way off. No, it was a book, and then
What was it?
Nope.
Found it.
No, I did not. I did not find it. Wait.
You had our hopes up there, Becca. Jeez.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're leaving us hanging.
And you know what? I think it was Silly. Was it Silly City? Oh, Funny Town? Silly Town. Funny Town?
I don't know.
I'll find it. I'll find it and report back next week. I'll ask my mom. She'll know.
So
Anyway.
what's kind of the mixture of the forms you like to make a lot or that you kind of keep in your inventory to sell for the most part?
Mugs because people buy them.
Good.
I love mugs. I make berry bowls a lot because it's really fun to punch the holes. People seem to like them too. But I am apparently a little more tactile than I thought now that I'm describing this. Yeah. So berry bowls. I make planters sometimes. Just regular bowls are my favorite because they're fun to throw. I make tiny little bowls. They go really quickly and everybody loves dip for the nuggets.
Oh, like little mise en place or it's like a dip size. So it's like the size of your palm maybe?
Anywhere between there.
Okay.
I mean, think like McDonald's ketchup cup to like nacho dip. Everywhere between there.
Nice.
They're like my pinch pot sizes, yeah.
Yeah.
But wide. Yeah. I have an idea that just popped into my head that I think would be really beneficial to you, maybe. Not that you asked, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. As we were just talking about unsolicited advice. No, I was thinking about your prices and how you're like, well, that's too low. And I was thinking, you know what helped me is I raised my prices $1 at a time. And it didn't seem so crazy at the time, And I think that if I was gonna do it again, I'd probably just like warn everybody and be like, just so you know, I'm gonna start raising my prices by $1 a month.
$1 a month.
I love that.
Like $1 a month until I get to this price that I feel that I'm worth, obviously now, but I'm gonna give you guys time,
That's really great. Because I haven't put my prices up since it was October 2020 when I was putting everything on Etsy. And at that point in time, I put my prices up a little bit to include shipping. But since then, I mean, gas has doubled, groceries have doubled, everything's doubled. So I'm not really sure why I'm not. But I'll get there.
Right.
I'll get there.
Yeah, there were some mentions about like, small businesses shouldn't feel like they have to be, they're immune to upping their price for the cost of inflation, like especially if it's your livelihood, like your cost of goods costs more just like everybody else's. And you have control of what you charge. I think I'm still feeling that way because I'm so new.
Yeah, no, it is. It's so hard when you are new. Like, I remember when I started selling, as we know, I price my stuff way too low regardless. But, I used to at least. Well, I guess I still do. Anyway,
your shitty cups are definitely cheaper than they need to be. They're still handmade and beautiful.
Yeah, but they're shitty cups. I was
on principle, you're like, just throw them away.
I was at a show the other day, and I was like, there was these cups that were like, that I've had since literally last year, that show, the Backyard Craft Show. I still had yellow cups from that show, and they just look so fucking terrible. And they just had this whole box, and all these vendors were around me. I was like, do you want any cups? Here, take some cups. I gave away like 20 cups in like 10 minutes.
Because you changed clays, right? You were using like a white clay last year when you were doing the craft show, and you had like really bright colors. I don't remember where the glazes came from, but
they were Gravesco glazes, and now I have some completely different colors. But when I started selling my pots, I think I sold a mug for $18 in 2014.
Whoa.
And I only went up to 25. That's the highest that I got to mugs, I think.
Because you don't really keep lines of mugs. I mean, you have the badge mugs that you were doing, the customized kind of badge ones. Those never went above 25 either?
It might have been 27. I don't think they actually did get above 25. I think they were 23 when I was selling them at the height of the badge mug situation.
Wow.
And but I do feel like I have improved so significantly that the price now makes sense. Like, I was learning so much, through that time. Maybe I'm just like one of those people that needs to learn through failure, which is actually totally true. But
the best way to learn in any situation.
It's true. Yeah.
So how do you mainly sell your work, Aleatha?
Mostly online. I've been, since I've been in business through all of COVID, everything has had to be online because you're not allowed to see anybody. So I've joined up with a few shows that have traditionally been in person, like craft shows. And since they pivoted to be online, they've put everything to like Shopify websites or whatever else. And they'll format it so they launch their website. Everybody can come shop for however long. And then at the end of the online event, I go wrap everything up, buy the orders, and deliver it to them. And they deal with all the shipping and putting it together with other people's stuff.
So is that a really made to order, or you give them all of your stock that you want in this online sale?
So I've already made it just because it's pottery and it takes a long time. So I make it, I take the pictures of it, I write the descriptions, I send that all to the people who are organizing this thing, along with a ton of other makers. So Kingston Holiday Market, Free Will Market, Pride Not Prejudice Market. They've all been doing kind of different things about this in my area. So they'll build this website with myself and a bunch of other vendors with whatever pictures and descriptions they've put together, and each artist has like a little section in the website, and you can search, like if you just want to search homewares or blankets or whatever, you can search that way too. But in these ones you could also search, say you wanted to look at Aleathabean, then you'd find me and you could shop with me and all sorts of other people. It's like a tiny mini Etsy that's only up for a weekend. And at the end of it, then the makers will bring all their stuff that did sell. They'll get like a rundown at the end of the weekend. And deliver it to the organizers who batch all of the orders together and then send them off to wherever they're going.
How much do they take?
It depends on the show.
Okay.
So anywhere from 15 to 30. And they usually have it's not bad. It's not bad. And there is an application fee, but it's okay. It's just fine.
That's not bad for the amount of work that they're doing. And it sounds like you've been very successful at them, haven't you?
I've done okay. Yeah, I've done all right.
And it looks like it's the Kingston Holiday Market's the main one you do. I feel like I see that quite a bit. And that's is that like a monthly, bi-monthly?
It seems to be more like an event kind of thing. So they used to do just the holiday market, so that would be a wintertime thing. They would stretch it out over a few weekends, but it would be in person. So in 2020, they were like, all right, well, we can't do that. So they pivoted, and it went so well that they also did a Valentine's market, and then a Mother's Day market, and then a Midsummer market. And I joined in with all of them, and they've literally made it okay for me to be alive right now.
Yeah.
Not to toot their horn too much, but they deserve horn tooting. They've been wonderful.
That's fantastic.
It's kind of like the consistency. The customers come back over and over, and they know that they're going to see different people as well as some of the same people. And then
and they've even made it a rule a couple of times that you have to bring new things. You can't show up with the same stock that you've had every single time.
Oh yeah, I was going to say that's what the multi-level marketing wishes they were.
Yeah. That's part of it too, is that everything has to be handmade. I'm sure you could have other markets with the same format that is like the MLMs, but these ones that I've joined in, because it's important to me, they've made it that everything that you submit has to be made by you. And I love that.
As it should.
Great. Yeah.
As it should.
Plus, it opens our customer base up too, because you don't have to be local at all because you're shipping stuff for the most part, right?
Exactly. They ship all the way across Canada.
Okay. Wow.
Shopping in your jammies on Vancouver Island and get something from Kingston, Ontario.
Okay, I think I missed that. So they actually ship everything, and you
they
just
ship
deliver it
to
them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just pack it all up and then I drop it off at their place.
Okay, and then the customer already pays for the shipping and stuff, so the shipping cancels out, but the percentage is kind of going to them for the legwork they're doing to put stuff on the website, maintain it, take care of orders, give you a list, ship stuff out, pack it, Yeah,
and it's a ton of work. They've shown what they organize it in their house because everybody's working from home right now. So they've shown pictures of what it looks like when all these vendors, and sometimes it's like 60, 80, 90 vendors that are dropping their things off, and their basement is like neck deep in boxes. It's incredible. It's a lot of work.
If anybody in the United States wants to do that, I'm game, but I'm not doing it.
You're not going to sell in it, or you're saying you're not going to host it?
I'll sell in it, but I ain't hosting it.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
I mean, that's a lot of work. Yeah. But hey, they're working their money off, right? And then,
Well, they do get a percentage, and that they should. They should get a percentage.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Wait, we never asked. Oh, go ahead.
Some of the shows I do, the only one that's kind of like that would be they would take 20%, but they're basically just doing checkout for you and then bagging it up and whatnot. The table fee for the show, that's the Queen City Clay show.
Yeah.
And the table fee is like $25, so it's basically nothing. You show up, you set your table up, it's inside, all that stuff. The only thing that does kind of suck is you have to put stickers on every single thing with your last name on it. And I have like 150, 200 pieces on a table, and I've got to put stickers on every single shot glass, every single spoon rest. That kind of sucks, but
that's a pain in the ass.
You know what really? Yeah, you know what really speeds that up? A double-blind pricing gun.
That's true.
It's a good investment. You have a very specific spot that you want the sticker to go into. You have to take it off the gun and put it on the spot anyway. I'm a little particular, apparently.
I don't. It seems like it'd be hard.
I always took it off the gun anyway.
A shot glass.
Huh?
But Wouldn't it be hard to put a pricing sticker right on the bottom of a shot glass? Is it?
No, they're very easy. But I would always kind of like take them off anyway. The point is that it's printing them, you know? You can just click it to print them each time.
I don't know.
Which is real
nice.
Handwriting?
I only do like one of those shows a year, so I just bite the bullet and just do it. But
yeah,
if I did it more, it'd be worth something like that maybe. But
yeah, for sure. Oh, I was gonna say that we never asked each other how our days were. Aleatha, would you like to start?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I lounged around until about noon. That was pretty great. And then just recently, my partner and I dragged all my stuff out to the deck. So I've been throwing outside the last couple of days, which has been fantastic. So I went out when it was, the noon thing was because I had to, because I didn't get sunburned. So I waited until the sun moved into a position that I could be out there.
Okay.
That's why. That's it. Yeah.
Because you're as white as mashed potatoes, but with pepper.
I am. Absolutely. That's it. So I went outside and I threw on the deck for a few hours, and that's great because the sun just dries things up immediately. Love that.
Yeah.
And then I went and did my mom's hair and my brother's hair. And then I saw a neighbor cat. Good day. Good day.
Yeah, you had a neighbor cat visit.
Yeah.
That's great.
Do your cats like sit on the other side of the door and like see them and they're jealous?
Yes. Yeah. So I have 3 cats, and Pancakes is all of like 5 pounds, and she's the feisty little jerk ever, and I love her so much, but she would absolutely attack something right through the screen. So she has not met Outdoor Cat because that would be a bad time. Vincent, our youngest cat, he's super friendly, super floppy. He goes outside all the time, and he's kind of fine with that. And we did not expect him to have any sort of reaction, but he saw a backyard cat through the screen, and his tail, he's a short-haired cat, his tail got so poofy, it was the size of his hips, and we were like, oh, well, backyard cat, you better watch out.
He's a little excited there.
Yeah. So it's exciting to have a whole other outdoor cat because ours don't go outside all the time.
That is cool. I really wish that Lloyd was an outdoor cat. Maybe he'd be less annoying.
Because he would socialize when you're not there?
Yeah.
Because Babs is just like, I want nothing to do with you.
Babs is like, fuck you, bitch. Fuck you, Shorzy.
Was Babs an outdoor cat before she came to you?
Yeah, I think so. Well, no, I think she was an indoor cat, but we found, Sarah found her on the porch, her porch. She like came up and she had like fleas and mites, and she's like, yeah, she was like the sweetest, most docile thing. And there was communication between the old owners and Sarah, and she was like, they were like, she ran out of the house and like ran away. And Sarah was like, bullshit. Like, if she ran out of that house, that's because she fucking hated you. Like, oh.
Seems super affectionate to be running away from things.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she will run, but, like, she's such a loving cat. Can you please tell the listeners about your headset? Because Aleatha looks like a secretary right now.
So my headset is a one-ear headset to paint you a picture, and the one ear goes over and the other one goes above, and I feel very suave in it. And it came from a place called Treasure Hunt, where I think people leave their garbage. I think. I don't know. I've never been in.
And you know what?
My partner brought it home for me.
Fantastic. It sounds fantastic.
It's lovely.
Yeah, it sounds good.
It has a microphone that comes up in front of the face. Love that.
Yeah, I mean, that's quintessential one-ear headphone right there.
Yeah.
Is it Bluetooth, though? I don't see a cord, so that would be the only other thing that would add to it.
Oh my god, if he paid less than $15 for that, I'm so impressed.
There's no price tag on it. I don't know what he paid, but I'm impressed even if he paid.
Okay, Aleatha, we need to find out.
You need to just wear this in a video, like I don't
just
know.
to look professional? Just to be like, take me seriously, I have a headset on.
Just for the hilarity. Like, don't even bring attention to it. Just, like, wear it.
If... No.
I don't know. It would just be hilarious. I don't know.
Here's the thing. We don't know the price of the headset. And as you've described it, it looks like a classic secretary headphone set from, like, the early 2000s. And if you can guess the exact price, and we will get the price from Aleatha's partner, if you can guess the exact price, and we'll put a little box when this episode comes out. So that's Lindy or Ashley. Put a box on our stories with the questions thing, and if somebody guesses the exact price, I will send you a shitty cup.
Wow, this is excellent.
Nice.
So
I'll even pay for the shipping.
I'll take a selfie to be part of this with my beautiful headset.
Oh yeah, you have to take a selfie. Here, I'll take a screenshot
you
right
have to
now.
You have to give somebody a little. And the thing is, I don't know that they know this. It wasn't bought retail. It was bought at a thrift. Well, you said thrift store, so there's no telling.
Oh, this is perfect.
I don't know. It's like an overstocked place. I've never been in. I've literally never been in. Apparently, he shops there all the time. I had no idea.
It's kind of like a. It's
That's
kind of like it's kind of like a fast food window kind of headset too.
Yeah, that's it. That's why I love it so much.
Yeah. Hello, thank you.
How many nuggets would you like? 10 nuggets? Here's your 11th nugget.
Hi, can I take your order, please? 2 bowls coming right up.
Okay, pause. So speaking of 11 nuggets instead of 10, my favorite thing on dating websites is, well, one of my favorite things, there's a lot actually, that I think is hilarious, is that people are like, describe yourself as a relationship, and they're like, in a 10-box chicken nuggets, you get 11. And I'm like, I don't want 11 chicken nuggets. I want 10. I want what was promised. I don't want
what the
extra.
fuck does that mean? You're way more than you. You're extra. That's what that means.
I don't want you to lie to me. I just want what was promised in this agreement. You know, like.
That is a fair thing. Also, if you have 2 children in the back of your minivan and you have a 10-pack coming out and there's an 11th nugget, all hell is breaking loose. That's a riot. That is a mess.
You're just eating that bad boy.
That's a tax for mom.
You just pass that right back up here. Don't even deal with it.
Yeah. Don't even deal with it.
Thanks for ruining my day, McDonald's. I'll caveat this as saying I don't even have kids. I just know.
That's all right. Wendy's nuggets are better anyways.
I like McDonald's nuggets. Oh,
we're
shit.
having a nugget thing here.
I feel like the McDonald's nuggets are too dry looking. I don't know.
But how do they taste?
I don't know. I've only had them like twice, but
you can't say.
I've had them. I'm just saying comparison-wise, the Wendy's ones are way better.
You know what? The next time I come out there,
right now?
Especially spicy. Does Popeyes have nuggets?
Popeyes isn't comparable because it's a chicken restaurant, so it's not.
You'd have to compare it to like Burger King. Or I don't know what a Canadian comparable would be. Is there a Canadian comparable in like fast food? Like, what's the top of the food chain fast food that's not in America?
Tim Hortons, maybe. Which is
they
not
serve
fast
food?
food. They serve food. It's not the best. Sorry, Tim Hortons. I'm so sorry. All
is that
Canadians.
like getting a sandwich from Starbucks kind of?
They have Tim Hortons in Detroit, actually, in Michigan, but yeah, it is definitely a thing.
Tim Hortons in New York City once, and it was like 6 square feet.
That's true.
Oh my gosh! It was like a walk-up window or something.
Yeah, it was it. You just walk in, you order, you turn around, you leave. You do it quickly because there's all the other Canadians behind you being like, "Help me! I want coffee." Yeah. Very strange.
But is McDonald's like the standard, like here?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. I mean, just. I love how people are like
everywhere.
I love how people are like, Canada is so different. Canada is literally, there is not even a line. It's just like you cross and you're like, oh, look, it looks like the same state I was just in. Like.
But it's not called a state,
I think it's
Becca.
probably
It's
a little more different.
Else.
Oh, do we know what it's called?
A province.
I want to say a territory.
Oh, we have both. Well done. Nice.
I want to say the province is the bigger part, right? And the territory is the smaller part?
We have provinces and territories.
Oh.
And it's not Providence, it's province.
I said province.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Province. Oh, okay. Sorry, that was my bad.
Province, yeah.
So what's the... Oh, so they are kind of the same, the exact same.
Yeah. Sort of. Yeah, you have states, we have spaces that are contained within their own little spots, the same as you have spaces contained within their own little spots.
But you're saying a territory could be right next to a province. It's not like one is a more general term and then one's like inside the other.
So the provinces are like Ontario and Quebec, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, British Columbia, and then all the Maritimes that I don't want to say really quickly because I'll probably mess it up. So sorry, Maritimers. And then there are also territories that are north, like the Yukon.
Okay.
I believe Northwest Territories is outdated now, but I could be very wrong on that. Sorry. Everybody up north.
I learned Northwest Territory. Anyway,
Now I'm on
we're potters. We don't know geography.
Oh, it looks like it's more of a legal
edge of Canada.
It looks like it's more of a legal determination, like by law or something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, basically the same thing.
Ryan, how was your day?
So my funny story of the day, work was good. It was hot as hell outside. We went for a run and I was exhausted. Glad we cut the backyard yesterday. Rachel and I yesterday, we split up the backyard cutting. I was like, I'll cut the bottom half and you can cut the top half. So that was fun. You
have a riding mower, right?
Yeah. No, we still have a push mower. We're waiting until we update the back patio and then we'll get my father-in-law did landscaping for like 30 years. So he knows his shit with landscaping. So he's like, you need to get a Z-turn, like the ones you like sit on. I think sit
you
on.
You stand on them. You stand on them and then you like turn them. And I'll tell you what, my landlord at 201 has one. And every time he's mowing, he looks like he is in literal heaven. He's like, he's like just jamming out to his music and just like mowing the lawn. And it's like,
you're like, anyway. Who else needs their lawn cut? Yeah, so he's all on telling us we need to get a better mower. Yeah, we have not used the riding lawn mower in the garage because it's like 2.5 years old, or at least, and hasn't been used. It's more than 2.5 years old, but it's been sitting for 2.5 years, and we've yet to figure out what's going on. We're gonna sell that, and we're just gonna buy one. So
I'll ride it.
You'll ride it? I don't even know if it starts.
We'll figure it out.
I don't know. We're about to sell it to somebody in Rachel's family that was over here for the thing.
Oh, okay, never mind.
So yeah, we cut the grass yesterday. My story of the day was I was just in the studio mixing up some I was trimming some stuff and then mixing up some underglaze, and there's this like gunk on the top of the underglaze, and I was trying to get it down, and then I slammed it on the ground and the underglaze shot up into my eye. So I had some orange in my eye and on my face, and that was kind of irritating. So Rachel,
did you have a wash station? An eye wash station that you put your face on?
Do you think I have a wash station?
You are not OSHA certified.
I am not. I have a sink in the bathroom.
Andrew did that last week. He was helping me wedge, and he slammed a couple pieces together trying to do slam wedging, and he did it instead of like a sandwich up down, he did it like a burrito side side. And it went flat right into his face, and he like yelled louder than I've ever heard him yell ever because he isn't a yeller. And I was like, "Oh my god, what happened?" Everything's fine, but it was a very scary moment. Are you blind? Are you okay? Everything's good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Were you wearing your protective eyewear?
I mean, I'm wearing my glasses, but it like went right up here.
Oh no!
So I I didn't get a photo. I was too like, this is kind of hurting. It was basically top of my eyelid, bottom of my eyelid, and on my cheek down here. So it was, and then like barely anything on my glasses. So they didn't really do their job, but.
Those fucking glasses.
And the little thing of the underglaze did not come unstuck, so I was trying to avoid using a paintbrush to scoop it out and mix it up, but
use your finger.
I didn't want to dirty anything. That's why I was slamming it. So
I have to say, I'm glad that in the middle of this fiasco, you didn't like turn around and be like, "Hold on, I might go blind in a second, but I'm gonna take a selfie."
Yeah, I'm gonna take a selfie.
I'm glad you didn't do that.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Ryan's not like. Yeah,
I was gonna do that, and then I was like, this is like on both eyelids. I don't think I want to take a selfie right now.
Don't mess with that. No.
So, I think we're good. So that was my story for the day.
That's
exciting. And we're trying out the new mic now, so we'll see how that goes. Marbles on my lap.
Stand.
Yeah, I got a new arm on the thing, so I'm looking all professional.
Yeah, who's the cheap one now, Ryan?
Me.
I
mean, I got the mic for free, so I wasn't gonna buy another mic.
Yeah, but I got you the mic for free first, and.
I mean, this stand was like $40. You acted like that was outrageous.
This stand was free.
I know, but
because I jerry-rigged it. It's not for this.
This is better than a kombucha bottle.
That's true. So, wow, you moved that.
Did you hear it?
No, move it back.
Did you hear it?
Nope, that was never mind. That's me, and that was the air conditioning here. I was like, wow, it just got really quiet.
ADHD punch?
I was going to say what happened in my day today. Okay, really quickly. I've decided at work that I'm going to work until a certain dollar amount instead of a piece amount. So it keeps it a little bit more consistent for Rebecca. It keeps it consistent for me, and that way I can budget my time, my money better. And so my goal is $1,000 a week before taxes. And so
how are you doing it before?
What?
How are you scheduling it before? Were you just doing it based on whatever you felt like doing?
Yeah, or like 100 pieces a day, whatever that hit to.
Okay.
And so it could be like $1,300, it could be $800, it could be $700, depending on the pieces.
Okay.
And I still kind of sometimes have it lower because there's just not enough stuff. But I finished everything I needed to finish, and I get a 4-day weekend.
Nice.
Yeah. Pretty excited.
Does Rebecca put up a board of things that need to be done anyway, though? Like whether you decide to do big ticket items or small ticket items?
So each potter, have you ever heard of Slack?
Not really, no.
Okay, so Slack, have you heard of Trello?
Yes.
Okay, so Slack is similar to Trello in the sense of like you can assign cards to certain people. And so each potter, we have 4 potters, so each potter has a list that is for them, like personalized for them. Mm-hmm. So like Sarah throws a certain amount, like certain things, Merritt throws certain things, Ryan throws certain things, and I do. So I get a list usually at the beginning of the week, and it's usually for a couple weeks of things, and there's usually numbers like, hey, highest priority is this, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I can, I usually swap around a few things, but if I get like 1 through 5 done that week or 1 through 8 done that week, then it's fine. And we're in our slow season right now, so it's a little less pressured to get things done, just generally. And so I hit $1,000 exactly, and I was like, fuck you guys, I'm peacing out. Yeah,
amazing.
So yeah, and it's like it's nice because
Did you already plan your week that way?
Yeah,
like you just started on
it.
You started on Sunday this week?
Monday,
and oh wow, okay.
3 days.
3-day week. Wow.
3-day week. Yeah.
Bravo.
Yeah, I hit. I just had some higher priced items this week, so. Yeah. But I what was I gonna say? Nope.
What were you gonna say? I don't know.
You forget? Okay.
So
I think that's amazing though. 3 days and you nailed it. That's great.
Yeah, because normally you don't throw bigger items, so.
Oh yeah, there's these candle warmer holder thingies that are like $5, which are like insane. Like they're a good price for what they are. Because you can sell that shit for expensive, you know? And yeah, and there was just like some 4-3, there was nothing under $1, or there was nothing under $2. So yeah, it just worked out really well for this week. It doesn't always work that way. Oh, what I was gonna say is I used to work in the painting business, and I've learned from that when you when the slow season comes, which we're in a slow season right now, you know, typically between like March and, you know, June is when the slower seasons are, because it's not Christmas and there's no holidays. That time you really need to take advantage of, you know, like in painting, the slow season is
personal time, or
yeah,
you're
in
talking
your personal
about...
time, yeah.
Okay.
Like in painting, the slow season is winter, and so like they would always be like, you know, we relax in the winter and we fucking kill it in the summer. And so that's kind of how my outlook is like, if I know that we're like not in a huge worry to get things done, I'm like, sweet, we're gonna like take it easy and ride this out, and then once it starts getting busy, I'll be here, you know, I'm ready.
But so. with Clay, so you all aren't necessarily rushing to get things finished, but is there still working enough to get a lot of bisqueware? Because there's going to be demand? Okay.
Yeah. And like, well, and we dropped also, you know, there's like been a lot of shifts. So we dropped the biggest client that we had, which was also the most chaotic client, which is also the most like ridiculous client. And so that chaos and that like last minute-ness is not there anymore. So we're like
mental relief.
Yeah, so we're just like, you know, we have to build up to, she has to build up to that in sales. But yeah, it's been like a lot easier to just be like, okay, we need this in 2 weeks. Sweet. Got it. You know, so. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, we were going to do a question, remember? We're going to do a question that Aleatha asked on.
She has 3 questions.
3 questions.
You saving up questions in the backlog?
From you.
I just asked so many I forget. I forget which ones I asked. Boy, all right. You put up that question box and I'm like, I'm on it. Here we go.
Let's go. The first question you get to answer with us. Okay?
Okay.
It is question. Right. What's your favorite birthday cake flavor? Do you even like cake? Oh, and here's a doozy. When you've got cake and ice cream happening at the same time, do you use a fork or a spoon? And is it on a plate or a bowl? The burning conundrums. Aleatha.
I think this was Ryan's birthday. This is why, the cake.
Oh.
It was. I think it was.
All right. Okay. I don't know. Whatever someone hands me, I'll take it. That's
okay,
a
but if somebody
question.
was like, if somebody was like, Aleatha, I'm gonna make you a birthday cake and I'll make whatever flavor you want, what are you gonna make?
Chocolate.
With chocolate icing?
With cream cheese ice cream.
Cream cheese.
Cream cheese and chocolate mixed together. Like cream cheese with some cocoa powder and then on the cake. Yep.
Wait, caramel? Any caramel?
Ooh, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
A little drizzle.
Sounds good. Good addition. Nice.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. And
where's Becca?
Okay.
What kind of cake?
Oh, my favorite cake is rainbow chip cake. Specifically Betty Crocker.
Rainbow chip as in funfetti, or is that a different name?
Okay, funfetti is Pillsbury. Rainbow chip is Betty Crocker. There's a significant difference.
Same fucking thing.
It's not.
It's not, Ryan. It's not.
All right, what's the
The
difference?
cake might be the same, but the frosting is where the differences lie. Funfetti is fucking sprinkles, and you mix the sprinkles in, and rainbow chip frosting has little rainbow chips.
I do like the rainbow chips. I
name.
do. Okay, I was talking about just the.
Okay.
Wait, do they call the frosting funfetti too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Anyway, that has always. I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know why. I've always loved rainbows, but like even in my food. But yes, that's my favorite.
That's your go-to.
Okay, Ryan, your favorite cake.
My favorite cake. My favorite cake is probably carrot cake with cream cheese frosting.
Oh yes, that's true. I love carrot cake too.
I mean, the thing is, some carrot cakes, if you're making from home, like they're not gonna be as good as like getting it from a restaurant or something. So
if you're not as good at making carrot cake, you have to have finesse.
I mean, you gotta make it like legit. I don't know that I might have had one legit carrot cake handmade that's not like from a restaurant. But
let's make one the next time I come.
Challenge accepted. But if
I have
it's like a
great recipe if you want one. Super good.
Oh yeah, we do.
Okay. If it's a box cake though, I would probably just go with like red velvet. I think with probably cream cheese.
The disgust in my face.
I'm sorry, I don't love red velvet. Oh,
I hate red velvet.
Good thing you weren't at our wedding then, because that was our top tier of our wedding cake. So fuck you both.
Well, that's only supposed to be for the groom and bride. That makes
kidding.
sense.
That was only for
Fuck you both.
You might have liked the bottom
Okay
tier. The other two tiers were marbled, so it was like chocolate and vanilla, which was good.
Yum.
And I think it had white icing. And then there was strawberry.
Yum.
I think this is why I like it when people have cupcakes for their wedding, because there's like 15 different flavors and you can just plow your face into it. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. One time I made 300 cupcakes for a wedding.
Oh, wow.
And they were s'more cupcakes.
S'more cupcakes? What does that even mean?
Like a chocolate cupcake with a marshmallow on top.
Marshmallow on top that was roasted in the oven.
Ooh.
Wow.
You know what sounds good? What if you did a little graham cracker crust?
I think I did a graham cracker on top.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's why I like cheesecake. I like the graham cracker.
I
encountered someone once. I've clearly put it out of my memory who, because I was horrified. They didn't like the graham cracker crust. They just scooped the cheese right off top. What the heck? I was so confused.
So good though.
You know what's funny is that my mom makes this lime pie. It's a ice cream, like a frozen lime pie, and it's lime custard, like a lime thingy on the bottom, and then whipped ice cream on the top. And it's in a graham cracker crust. And for the longest time, I didn't like the graham cracker crust because my brother didn't like the graham cracker crust. And then I tried it one time, and I was like, "What a mistake! What a mistake!" Like
all these years, how many graham cracker crusts have I missed out on?
And now I'm like, can I please have half graham cracker crust, mostly lime, and then the tiniest bit of ice cream?
I'm with you. That's how desserts should be. It's just all crust.
Oh man, if they had like the bundt cake and you filled the bundt cake with like graham cracker crust and then you had that would be good. And then you get
it'd be pretty
graham cracker everywhere.
Yeah, if the bundt cake had like a lot of fruit in it, like fruit frosting
fruit
stuff.
Cake?
No, I don't know. I may have just made up a dessert in my mind. I kind of want like a bundt cake pie, but
and
like
everybody
an
stay
upside down
tuned for Becca's 4 days off that she has coming up, because she will be making a fruit bundt cake because she has time on her hands.
But since I'm too cheap, I will not be buying a bundt cake pan, so it might be in just a square pan with a cup.
Fruitcake bagels coming at you.
Oh, I love when you go off on your cooking stints because you're like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm probably gonna ruin it anyway. This is what I'm doing.
Oh God, I made a lasagna.
And it always turns out amazing.
I made a lasagna the other day when I had COVID. So I had COVID and I made the lasagna on like the last day. It might have been the day before my birthday because I know by now that if I make something that I've never made before, not to make it on a day that I want to be happy, because like there's a good chance that it's gonna be fucking terrible. And so I made homemade pasta and then a white sauce lasagna, and I was like, oh, I don't have to bake the noodles because the last time I made a lasagna, I used red sauce and I put it in the oven, and the red sauce just cooks the noodles because it's got water in it because of the tomatoes. And that's not what happens in a white sauce lasagna. So the noodles were like par baked, and they were fresh pasta. It was fresh pasta. So it was like really gross.
Was it
but
just
it
all
really
soggy?
good.
It like absorbed all the moisture.
Yeah, it was like the flavor was like hello. It was like lime, basil, ricotta, like wow. And the pasta just fucking died inside.
Sad for you. That's all.
Yeah. Okay, wait. Now I'm so curious. The cake and the ice cream situation. Do we use a fork or a spoon?
We'll start with the fork.
Is the ice cream hard? Is it soft serve or hard?
It is hard out of the tub.
How hard is that though?
Hard.
Depends. If
Depends
it's
on what kind of
a
ice
hot
cream.
day.
If it's melting, I will use a spoon. If it is not melting, but I eat really fast. I mean,
I feel like ice cream
body.
fresh out of the freezer isn't necessarily like rock hard though.
That's true.
It depends on your freezer.
We'll say right from the store that's been in the freezer for overnight or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm gonna say spoon.
I might get both. Like I might start with fork, eat cake, and then go to oh, and I'd also for sure put it in a bowl and then maybe drink it when it melts.
Yes.
So why not a fork?
You do.
You don't
the
have
last few bites of the cake. You just
What about an ice cream
into
cake?
the ice cream.
What do you eat an ice cream cake with?
A fork.
Has to be a fork because they're so hard that you
those are definitely rock hard.
You almost need to eat it with a knife.
And you can't eat that on a paper plate. It's impossible.
What do you do with an ice cream cake? You just have a bunch of drinks and get your friends over and hand them all whatever utensil you find first and don't even bother cutting it. You just stab it until you can eat it.
Yeah.
Why are they so frozen? Like, why is it the heart like a brick?
I don't know. They're like a diamond. I don't know.
Shine bright like a diamond. They're really hard because if they weren't, then they'd melt.
But can't they be like 2 degrees cooler, like 2 degrees warmer?
Spin no facts here, Becca. Straight.
They have to be 0 degrees Celsius.
No, like if it's frozen, it's gonna be lower than 0. Like it's harder than that.
It's -5 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, it needs to be closer to like -2 degrees Celsius, so it can actually thaw within like 30 minutes.
Oh.
So frozen when you try to eat them on a hot day. The whole outside is just liquid. The inside's still a rock.
Maybe it's for that drive home, so it doesn't melt at all on the drive home.
That too. You're supposed to take an ice cream cake out 30 minutes before you serve it. To an hour to 30 minutes.
When just have a puddle on your counter? What?
30 minutes is not long enough to melt it. That thing is a brick.
It's like you can kill somebody with an ice cream cake straight out of the freezer.
Can you imagine that on a criminal report, a police report? Weapon of choice unclear. a giant puddle of cream on the kitchen floor.
The evidence melted.
I mean, there's got to be somebody that's cut themselves trying to cut an ice cream cake because it's so hard.
Me. I have definitely injured myself with dessert a lot of times. That's happened.
If you were expecting pottery today, I'm so sorry.
I attempted. There was talk of bowls. I tried.
I'm going shallow bowl. I'm going like pasta bowl.
Oh, that's a good.
Pasta bowl.
Yeah, for sure.
Good choice.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Also, snow cones. I feel like snow cones are in the genre of ice cream cakes in the frustration, because you put the ice on the top or the flavor on the top and it just fucking melts to the bottom. Like there's like
you're talking about the traditional
liquid,
rock hard snow cone.
Yeah. Those are also very frustrating.
Ooh, there was this one when I was a kid that was right up the street. It was in like a little bitty shed. It was like a 8x8 shed. And they had like they had one of those, like, you turn the little thing in it. They have blocks of ice, and then they have the machine that shaves it.
Wow.
So they would shave it into a cup. It was called Snow to Go.
Snow to Go.
And you'd walk up there and they'd have, the boards. They'd open the little windows and they'd have all the different names of the flavors on the board. I would always get rainbow,
very nostalgic,
or tiger's blood.
Ooh.
Tiger's blood.
Tiger's blood is
Tiger tail, maybe. Tiger's blood.
Tiger's blood. I want to say it's strawberry and coconut.
That sounds a lot nicer.
How the fuck does that have anything to do with a tiger?
No idea. It was fucking good. I want to say strawberry.
I'm not questioning this guy in the hut. I'm just gonna have a snow cone, thanks.
I want tiger's blood. Oh, it's tiger's blood.
Tiger's
it's not
blood.
A tiger. Okay, tiger's blood is red.
Okay, it says
strawberry.
Flavor knows tiger's blood is combination of watermelon, strawberry, and coconut.
Oh shit, that sounds good.
It's so good.
It sounds good.
Unfortunately, that place closed down like 3 years ago. So.
Yeah.
Probably because they were importing endangered species and putting them into snow cones.
Yeah, they found blood in their snow cones.
They had those those canisters, kind of like you'd see blue curacao, like canister, or like the Pre-Ray. That's what they would have the syrup in, and they'd just like dump it on there. Oh, so good.
How do you say? Okay, he says syrup. How do you say
syrup?
You say syrup?
Syrup. I say syrup.
You said syrup.
Well, I said syrup for the sake of that, but I don't know.
Sure.
Simple syrup.
Oh, are there different pronunciations depending on what kind of syrup it is?
I don't know. If we're making a tiki drink, I'm saying simple syrup.
Okay. Syrup. Simple syrup. Syrup.
Maple syrup.
Got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
What is this episode? Yeah, we have not touched that part very much, have we?
What about Italian ices? Italian ices are the go-to.
Oh, what about the I don't know what they are, the Asian ice ones? Have you had those with the
mochi?
Sweetened condensed milk on top?
No.
I have not tried this, but it sounds really good.
Where do you get that?
Usually at in college we used to get them, and you'd go to like Asian restaurants.
Could you imagine going to a restaurant and you order a dessert and it's like a scooped snow cone?
I'd be down. Sounds
good. Asian shaved ice is delicious. Okay. Anyway.
Delicious.
It's got 4 cups of ice, strawberries, mangoes, red beans or paste, grass jelly, lychee, and 1 cup of sweetened condensed milk, and you pour the sweetened condensed milk over it. Wow. Wow.
Those flavors sound good. I don't know about the the red beans. What beans
are really popular in Asian food for like desserts.
Wait, is that
red bean paste?
Like beans?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds gross.
It doesn't end up tasting like beans though. It tastes like strawberries almost.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it is, but I've tried it before, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So adding a little protein in their dessert.
Mm-hmm. Well,
smart. I didn't think of it from that option. Yeah.
Me neither, and that makes it almost healthy.
And lychee. Well, I mean, they're probably using real fruit, so it's healthier than getting just sugar syrup.
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 Do you say syrup? Okay.
I say syrup. Syrup.
Okay. We're all on the syrup boat. Okay.
Yeah, we're all yeah.
Love it. And that's been dessert talk.
That's been dessert talk. There's other questions, but they're for us, and I feel like we're interviewing you. So
I feel like we answered the second one.
It's fine.
We answered the second one last time we talked, Becca, about the backyard craft show.
Oh, the buddy show. You should start a buddy show in Canada. I'm going to get kicked out of the United States for saying Canada. I've always said it like that.
I love it. Tell me again what the structure of this backyard buddy show is. Like you go, you set yourself up, and then you call somebody who knows nothing about your work and have them come and man the booth?
No.
Same with their booth?
No. The buddy show is structured on the buddy system in the sense of
you go to the bathroom together.
You go to the bathroom together. No, you hold hands in line. So
at anybody's table. Just frolicking through fields holding hands.
So sorry, the buddy show means that you have to sign up with a buddy. So like if you had a friend that was a vendor and you knew about their products, you would sign up with them. So me and Ryan would sign up together. So like we're going to sign up as Ryan and Becca. And when we get to the show, Ryan sets up his booth how he normally would, and Becca sets up her booth how she normally would. And then you literally swap places. You man each other's booths. So you have to know at least a little bit about the person, because then you can actually sell it. Because you know how like whenever you're at a show and you're like, have you seen this pot? This is so beautiful. And it's like your friends and like you sell it like real good because you're like stoked about it for them.
Yeah.
That's the concept.
I totally know that feeling. And I also know that people usually undersell their own work. So when they get there and someone's like, oh my God, this is amazing. How much does it cost? And you're like, I don't know, just take it, whatever, it's garbage. So you won't do that if it's your friends because you're all so excited about it.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that it's very, very appropriate to be able to upsell in the buddy show. You know, this sticker tag says 25, but I think it's worth 35, don't you think? I think it is. I think the people in the buddy show should be across from each other, not next to each other. So like in a line.
So it's not like, hey, they're wondering about this certain thing. Can you tell them about that certain thing?
You have to yell across so there's a comedic aspect to it. Hey, Brenda!
There needs to be something when like a sale gets made. So it's like, yeah, across the...
Everybody has their own call. Kaka! Kaka!
Someone brings a cowbell. Love this. I'm game. That sounds fun.
Doesn't it? I think it would be enjoyable. Yeah.
Be a good time. Trying to think who I would go with. There'd be so many people. Great.
I know, like everybody who sells stuff knows somebody else that sells stuff too. Like even if they met them at a show or whatever, and you're just like, oh, your stuff is the shit. Or like I would want to pair up with somebody who's like sold earrings or something, because I'd be like, dude, these are the fucking shit. Like, look at this. Yeah.
Especially you've made earrings enough to know that like when they are the shit. So you can say that honestly.
I can see that. My ear is also infected. I forgot to add that into my daily account.
Oh no. Like the outside where piercings happen or the inside where hearing happens?
The outside, but I think it might be moving to the inside. I got it double pierced. My friend double pierced it, and the piercing's fine. It's just that I had an earring in there that was maybe a little bit too small, and it hurts real bad. So we took the earring out, and I put one of my friend's earrings in that's titanium. So I'm hoping that it helps.
But the earring's too small. Wouldn't that mean it wouldn't irritate it because it's not like?
No, it was like too thin.
Oh, it wasn't deep enough to go all the way through, so you're like
too close.
Your ear.
Yeah, it was like pinching my ear, so because it got swollen, and so yeah, and I have an issue with I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna start playing with this because I'm bored, and so it never gets better.
Ouch.
But yeah,
when your ear tries to swallow the piercing.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, that started to happen. I was like, I gotta get this fucker out of here.
Expel that thing from your life, yeah.
So what kind of clay community is there in Brockville?
Brockville. There's a lot.
How big is Brockville?
I don't know
everybody. To start, because I don't know much about it.
Brockville is population 22,000 people.
Is that in Canadian?
Right? Yeah. You caught me. I was like, oh God, what is the conversion for people? I didn't know there was a conversion. Yes. 22,000 American and Canadian people. Brockville is situated right in between Ottawa, which is Canada's national capital, and Kingston to the west just a little bit, and Montreal to the east just a little bit. So Brockville is kind of right in the middle of a bunch of big hubs. You go a little farther west, you get to Toronto. So we're smack dab in the middle of a bunch of metropolises, except we ourselves are more of like a small city, which is lovely. It's a good size. It's big enough for a Walmart. It's small enough to know your neighbor's name. And I think that's just about right.
That's the same size Monroe was, and it's lovely.
Yeah. It's small enough that if you needed to get across town and you didn't feel like calling a cab, you could still make it and be on time. And I love that. You could just walk.
Yeah.
And, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't take you 5 minutes. It would take you maybe 45 minutes, but you could do it.
Right.
Do it.
Right.
Yeah. End to end.
Oh, so, why is it pronounced Brockville when there's two O's?
There's not two O's.
What?
You're just full of trick questions here tonight, Becca. Brockville.
I accidentally said Brookville.
Is there also a Brookville?
Probably somewhere.
I accidentally said Brookville because there's a Brookville, Ohio, or Brookville, Indiana, real close to us here.
I'll do it. Oh, this is Brockville.
There is a Brookville, and I looked it up, and you're a lot farther away than I thought.
We're pretty far away.
Yeah, she's a little bit north of Syracuse, New York.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Brockville
like near
is right
Vermont.
on the river. We're right across the river, right across St. Lawrence River from New York State. So if you go downtown in Brockville and you look across the water, you can see New York State. It's right there. So,
was there a war there? Was the War of 1812 in your city?
Holy history buff. Yeah. Yeah, it was like right down the road. Yep.
Oh my God. Okay, so when I was traveling, when I went on my road trip, I probably saw your city like across the way because I went up to northern
New York?
I went to New York, and then I went to Niagara Falls, and then I went over and then up Rochester and then up, and I went to this town that had like so much War of 1812 history, and then I got shit-faced with these two guys because it was the day before duck season started, and all of the like they just bought me drinks, and I was drunk by 8 p.m. And they were like these two old guys, and we like ate food and drank beers because they had $2 pints. And then I slept in my car. That's the only time I've ever driven drunk, and I drove a block to a parking lot. Yeah, a good time.
I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you were okay. Glad that block wasn't full of dangers.
I wouldn't have driven if I had to drive really far, but I needed to get out of the 2-hour parking.
Yeah.
You know.
I get it. Well, I'm very curious where you were. Did they talk amazingly? Like, was their accent just the best? Was it so good?
I don't know, but I remember really enjoying the town, and like, it might have been Alexandria Bay.
Yeah,
it was right next to the
close.
water.
That's
not too far.
Just about across from Kingston. It's right there.
Yeah.
So Rockville is between two bridges that go across, and the one in Johnstown is just a little bit east. The one in that way across from A Bay is just a little bit west. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
you were right up the
awesome.
road. I should have come to see you.
Yeah, because I remember I went. Oof. I went to get into Vermont. I went on a little ship.
Ferry?
Yeah, those. I went on a ferry. So that's fun. How fun. That place is pretty.
Oh, I wish I knew you were there. That would have been great to just like wave across or something.
I know. Well, that was a long time ago. We didn't know each other then.
Yeah, I guess. Wait, this was the one that you just went on like earlier in the year?
No. This was in 2012.
Oh yeah, no, we definitely did not know each
other.
That was
a little bit ago.
Yeah, no, this is when I left my house in Colorado and traveled around the country for 6 months. So.
Wow.
And I lived in my car. Yeah. Yep. The people in Vermont the ones up north that are French are not very nice. I did learn that.
Is that in Maine? Are they French there?
No. No, it's Vermont and New Hampshire when they're really north, but they weren't nice to me, but you know, they could have changed.
Because they're like right opposite of Montreal. So
yeah.
They speak French.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was like, why is there a Canadian flag in the United States?
A lot of those towns are so border towns that, I mean, the families have been there since before the borders have. So you've got well, even in my family, I've got people that go across constantly. My dad and my grandpa were both customs officers in their working lives. And so you just get to know people and you're like, hey, Jim, hey, Frank, and whatever. It's not a big deal. And you have families who literally live across the road from each other and they're in different places.
It's very like mixed countries up there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I could totally see that. I mean, that's kind of how in Vancouver it is too, like up towards the border, Washington and Canada, you know, people go across so much. So like they work in the United States and they live in Canada or the opposite, you know.
Yeah.
So
here too.
Makes sense.
We have people that go across to Ogdensburg constantly just to go to work or come back and forth.
Yeah, you know,
towns.
Natalie from now I don't know, Fledgling Studios. Natalie from Fledgling Studios, she lives in Canada, right by Niagara Falls, somewhere. I'm sure. My ear's ringing now. Great, my ear's gonna fall off.
No.
So she lives like right by Niagara Falls, and when she ships stuff to the United States, I think she goes into Rochester and ships them from Rochester.
Oh,
it's cheaper. It's significantly cheaper. I can send things to the United States for a fraction of the price that I can send them up the road to Canada. It's really frustrating actually because I do everything through Etsy and I ship through Etsy too. So when I'm buying shipping labels through them, like I'll give you an example. One day I shipped a pinch pot. So it's like 7 centimeters wide. It's 3 inches. It's little. I shipped one to Ottawa the same day in the same box that I shipped one to Texas. And it was like $16 to ship to Ottawa and it was $9 to ship to Texas.
Oh my gosh.
So do they use like USPS? Like where you are?
I think that's what it does. I go through Canada Post, but I think once Canada Post transfers it over to the stateside, then it goes through USPS.
So that's why it's so cheap, because it's like it literally just has to like hop over the border.
Maybe, but Ottawa is only an hour drive away. So why would it take so much more money to get to Ottawa than it would to get to Texas? Texas is a long drive from here.
Are there other fees that you all have with your post of like when you're accepting retail items or something, you have to pay extra? I mean, you're staying in the country, so it seems
customs,
like
but I think that has to be something that the person pays who is on the receiving end for customs if it's crossing the border.
I just don't.
But in Canada, why would that happen? I don't know. I don't entirely understand it.
How is the Canadian Post like run? Is that a whole that's like government run? I'm guessing, right? Kind of like United States Postal Service.
Kind of. Not. It's kind of. I don't think it's exactly government run. I think it's kind of like tangentially government run.
Okay.
Like highly sponsored by the government somehow.
So maybe the fees are just more, but it seems if you're still going through Canadian Post to get it across the border to US and then go from there, it seems like there's no reason it would be cheaper, but
yeah, I don't know. It's really weird. No idea why.
Bizarre. I find it interesting that I would imagine it's the same with Canadian Post, but is it Canada Post or Canadian Post? Canada Post?
Canada Post. Canada.
Okay, so I would imagine it's the same as Canada Post. I was very close to my mailman in Monroe. His name was Ken. And so we would talk about stuff. But one time we kind of like conned the USPS thinking they thought that we shipped more than we did. So we got some representatives to come to our store. And they like enlightened us on a few things that we find to be frustrating, and I would imagine that Canada is the same, because when the Pony Express started, which was what the USPS was originally, it was just letters. It wasn't packages as much, like people were sending letters, and the United States Postal Service is for postal, like for mail. Parcels. It is not for packages, like parcels. It is for letters. And they've had to like significantly restructure the company in the last 10 years or 15 years since Amazon to accommodate all the packages. And it's just a whole fucked up system because of that. Like, but people
Amazon, well, are you saying because in the early days of Amazon they actually went through USPS?
They still do.
I think a lot nowadays I have an Amazon Prime truck pull up to my house and drop packages. Not.
Oh, I guess that's true.
They have their own mail service because they want to have that immediate delivery that the postal service can't keep up with.
Didn't that change like maybe 2 years ago? Something like that?
I mean, yeah, probably in the last 5 years or so. They start ramping up. I'm sure it differs based on what part of the country you live in and who can handle the service and who can't.
Yeah, because all of my Prime packages came through the post office. But like they were just talking about how it's been such like an overload of packages, and like UPS, is literally made to ship packages, so they're set for that system. And the United States Postal Service, like everybody hates the USPS because like they fucked up my package. Well, they're not even supposed to be delivering your package, so like
and their prices are competitive to like make it worth it, right?
Yeah,
like the prices are good, but still kind of
always, if I can, I ship through UPS,
but I mean they've got to make a lot of their money based on packages. If they didn't adapt,
now they do,
then they would have died, because
for sure.
If they said, hey, we don't do that, you've got to go to another business. Like, who is sending letters?
And if they're still relying on letters.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, people sending their
letters. But who does that?
Junk mail,
I do.
Credit card.
Should we be pen pals?
Your bills.
I would love to be your pen pal, Becca. But it isn't something that you and I alone can keep Canada Post and USPS afloat just from our letters. gotta send packages sometimes too.
I tried to be a pen pal with Val's daughter, Molly, and she still hasn't sent me a letter back, and I'm kind of bummed, but it's fine.
Oh.
She's 11.
Molly.
She's a teenager.
She like, what's your email?
Okay, well that makes sense.
But what was I gonna say? You
highly
said something. You're right. They would have like completely died, and God damn it.
Because I mean, most of the companies that are sending stuff out, like junk mail and your bills and stuff through energy, like those are probably paid for. Like the shipping of those is probably sort of paid for. Like, I don't know that I get like an energy bill with a stamp on it, or maybe it is.
You don't see the stamp, but it's like
because
the stamp
somehow.
is electric, so it's it goes through a machine and it stamps them, and then it tallies up how much it's paid in postage, and then it sends it out.
Yeah.
So it's like a postmate.com or whatever, that kind of situation.
And then everybody's doing like paperless now, so.
Yeah.
I still get paper as much as I can, because then I give a big, fat, disgusting envelope to my accountant at the end of the year. And that's that. I don't want to print anything at home. Here you go. Here's my 3 inches of paperwork.
For reals, though, I always preferred paper, because I was like, oh, I can just shove it in this fucking like drawer.
Mm-hmm. Also, I'll forget to pay my bills if I don't have a piece of paper telling me to. I get like 8,000 emails a day from all the different things. That's a good idea. That's the smart way, Ryan. That makes sense. I just don't think of that.
God damn it!
So,
you know what? What I was gonna say was actually kind of important, but I can't remember what it was. But I got a glimpse.
Wasn't important enough.
Clearly. Oh, I remember. Okay, so here's a fun fact. If you're ever gonna commit mail fraud, if you
what a starter! All right,
let's
go.
Like we are not professionals.
I'm just saying, I was watching the McMillions show on HBO Max.
Oh, I need to watch that.
It's so fucking good. And they basically, the reason that they could indict all of those people is because every single one of them sent the ticket, the like thing saying I won, through the United States Postal Service. So it was a federal crime. But if they had used UPS, they would have never been able to be indicted because it was a private company, and it doesn't, like, they can't be federally like prosecuted because it's not a federal crime to cheat on a game.
You're talking so above my head right now. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm so sorry.
So it's an issue because I use USPS, which is a government.
Yeah, so like let's say well, you know how the McDonald's has the games that are like the Monopoly games?
Okay.
Canada doesn't have Monopoly. Sorry, Becca.
No, we do. I just don't play.
I just
forgot
made that up.
Okay, well, back in the 90s, they there was a huge scam, and a bunch of people got a hold of all the winning tickets, like the $1 million tickets, and like this one guy was like selling them to people, and then those people would send them in, and then they would fake that they got the tickets. And so the reason that they were able to be they figured it out because of a leak. Like somebody that was connected called the FBI and was like,
it was called Mickey Leaks.
Mickey Leaks. and so there's like a lot of stuff to the whole story, which I won't go into, but because they shipped their tickets through the United States Postal Service, and which is a federal company, they were able to federally prosecute them. If they had used UPS, it like McDonald's can't really do anything because it's not illegal to like cheat on a game that's not part of the government.
That is mind blowing. Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So another reason to send your business through UPS is what you're saying.
Yes, absolutely. Private.
Jesus.
Remember, you can't lose your rights in a private company. Because they're already gone.
That's great. So what's your breakdown of like how many people you're sending to in Canada versus US, Aleatha?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
It's mostly Canadian. That's a good question. It's mostly Canadian. On Etsy, it's kind of half between Canada and US. But all these shows that I've been doing, they're Canadian based and they only ship to Canada.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's your least favorite part of the process?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Process. What process?
Nope. Continue.
Of making pottery or of like the entire job? I'm doing changing the subject here.
What's your least favorite part of making pottery?
Glazing.
Why?
Yeah, it's my hands are very dry and there's a lot of buckets and it's overwhelming a little bit. So
Ryan started wearing gloves.
Yeah, me too. Makes a big difference. Yeah.
Now I got the soft hands.
Yeah. I don't.
Which I don't know why I didn't think of that because I wore gloves when I did color every day of my life for 15 years. So I don't know what that was about, but I remembered that I own really nice gloves and I put them on my hands and I'm like, oh yeah, these are things.
Yeah, I'm sure that hair shit's pretty toxic. You probably can't get your hands on that.
Not every day of your life for that many years, yeah.
No.
That's tough. Yeah,
okay.
so the glaze stuff made a big difference, but.
In the glazing, are you including that underglaze wash stuff? Because that's done at bisque too, right?
That's done after the bisque. No, I do that with bare hands because I'm washing it off with a bucket, and it's kind of rough, so I'll break my gloves. So, and I discovered recently when you're wiping off, if you use a magic eraser, say this for all the listeners out there who do that wipe back, magic erasers are actually magic. They're made by elves. They're so good. Anyway.
Wait, no, please elaborate. I want to know what's.
And what kind of does your clay have grog in it? Like, is it gritty at all,
Ryan,
or is it pretty smooth?
We're talking about the magic eraser.
I know, but I'm saying it matters if your clay is gritty and you're wiping away on a gritty clay than a clean, no groggy clay.
No, right? That makes a huge difference. If I were like burnishing everything and then carving, then it would wipe back really easily. But I don't burnish. I don't like to. And
or like ribbit.
So
do you ribbit?
Yeah. Well, not really. No, I just sponge it. Just a regular old spongeroonie. And then I bisque it after I've carved it and everything. And then I do the wash of the underglaze and I wipe back I use a grout sponge to get the most of it off. And then that last little bit of haze that I usually just destroy a million sponges, I've been using a magic eraser the last few loads. Holy moly, what a difference. I need stocks and magic erasers now.
Do they go away quickly?
Yeah, they do. Like one bisque load is like 3 sponges, but worth it.
Okay.
If you go on Amazon, you can buy $12 worth, and it's like 100 of these melamine sponges that aren't actually magic erasers. They're melamine sponges.
12 Canadian or 12 US?
Either way, it's not $3 for one sponge.
Well, I found a thingy on the interwebs, and I wonder. I have an idea. You should try this. You know those SOS pads?
Okay, SOS pads, like the ones with soap in them?
No. The ones that are like the green ones that are the scrubby ones.
Yeah.
The gritty ones. Yeah.
The gritty ones.
I love those. They don't work all that well.
That's rough though. Okay, go on. Yeah. What are you doing with the SOS
Nobody
pads?
loves those. Anyway, or whatever. You can get cheapo fucking sponges for real cheap, and you can make your own magic eraser by using heated water, a teaspoon of borax, and a little bit of baking soda.
So what do you mean? You submerge that in that SOS pad?
Yeah. It would probably get that off, and it wouldn't wear down as much.
But I think you'd have to resubmerge it in the solution of the borax and water and baking soda over and over again for something like I do anyway, because the whole piece needs to be wiped back.
So right, because you're squeezing it out.
Yeah, to get.
And it's got to be really clean for her to glaze on top of.
Mm-hmm. So once I do the white back, I usually just do a clear glaze. I don't do colors over top.
Right. That makes sense.
A little bit, yeah. But yeah, listeners out there, magic erasers, good stuff.
That's a great tip.
Yeah, that is good.
Thank you. Yeah,
I would have never thought of that.
I recently did, because I was trying a bunch of different sponges because I was frustrated with it, and I got some contractor sponges, the grout sponges that I was saying, and then also cellulose sponges, because I don't love how many pieces of plastic I'm putting out into the world with those little sponges breaking up into a million little pieces. Like some natural cellulose ones, garbage, by the way. They work great on dishes, but I'm so sorry, Mother Nature. Not gonna work. And then I tried the magic erasers and a couple other ones that were just from the dollar store, but different types. Yeah, blew my mind right there.
Wow. My mind is like now just wandering.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like your clay doesn't look like it's very gritty at all. Just looking at you carving.
It's not. I use Tucker's Mid Smooth spec. So that one, I believe, actually is a mixture between regular clay and a little bit of porcelain. So it's quite soft. There's no grog whatsoever. It's very smooth, very buttery. I've tried to use the groggy ones. I did raku one time with my pottery teacher, and it was fantastic, except I felt like I was gonna lose my fingertips.
I've heard that.
I don't know how people do that every day. Good for them.
Yeah.
Wow.
So wait, did you not use the big tongs to pick it up?
Yeah, but when you're
throwing it when you're making the pottery, it's super it's got a ton of grog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like I was trying to throw with asphalt or something. It was awful. so awful.
Yeah.
Ugh, yeah, I'll do
That's
that again.
Horrible. Does that clay do well with handles for your porcelaneous kind of? Or do you have issues?
It seems to. I haven't had a whole lot of issues. Sometimes there's a little bit of a surface crack that it's cosmetic. So those ones I usually just say it's fine. It's just not quite as pretty. You do have to dry them pretty slowly.
Yeah, I see you're kind of like pre-making them and then forming in one of your videos.
Yeah, I do a slab and then I cut them up and then I stick them on.
Nice. Nice.
I've done pulled handles a few times and I don't love the way they look with the way that the rest of my pots look, because they're kind of smooth. So then a pulled handle is kind of like a glob on the end, which is very nice for what it is for other kinds when you've got a more organic shape to it. But for whatever reason, I like them smooth.
I mean, for your slab ones,
I totally understand that.
They look the same one to the next, which is nice because it just builds that consistency. Whether your design is on there or not, you can tell that the handles are the same from one to the next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to do a handle that was pulled from the mug like Ryan does, and I did it on my mug and I was like, this looks fucking terrible. Like it just didn't fit. It just didn't fit,
I love the way it looks on yours, Ryan. Like the way that you have the throwing lines and they're kind of thick on the bottom and the whole shape of it makes total sense. But on mine it doesn't seem to work. I don't know.
Yeah. No, yeah, I totally agree because I love Ryan's handles. So yeah.
I also love that they're kind of, when you look at it from the top, they're a little bit thicker against the mug wall and then they get smoother, smaller towards the actual hand part.
Yeah.
And I've tried to do that a few times with mine and then I look at it and I'm like, no, don't like that. Nope. Never mind. Take it off.
My favorite handle to make when hand building, like instead of slabs, is to do a coil and then flatten it out with just a rolly tool, because then it has like a nice curved outside. That's my favorite way to do like a hand built handle, for sure.
That's really comfortable when you're holding it, that nice smooth round.
It's kind of rounded on the edges. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
made
do the slab,
it when
I take
there's
a
like
sponge and I smooth the edges.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I hate it when
exactly.
there's like a sharp side. I had a few back in the day that like one side was like really rounded and really nice because I would always do this in between my thumb and my index was like really smooth, and then the other side was like kind of pinched. And I was like, oh, I hate this because it's like right where I hold it. It's too sharp.
Yeah.
You do have to make sure that you actually use your mug sometimes to realize what you hate.
Yeah.
Because I've had that. I've had a couple that I've made that I'm like, this is such a work of art. It's so beautiful. And then I go and try to put anything in it. And I'm like, I hate this. This is awful. Never, ever going to sell one of these again.
Piece of shit.
Putting a fucking plant in this thing. It's not worth coffee.
I think that's why I'm a little iffy about like the coiled handles that some people have. It's got to be the right thickness of coil, I guess. But
I think a round handle is a sin against God.
It
like a perfect cylinder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't
like
love those.
Like a tube.
Yeah.
Like some of the newer
ones that are like a perfect circle stuck to the outside of it.
Some of the trendier modern ones with a.
I do like the way they look, but that ergonomically seems like
I'm gonna drop it. Unless there's two of them, one on either side, then I'm okay. But just one, I feel like the whole thing's gonna just slip. And yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel about round handles too. Because like, where are you gonna like rest your thumb? And like, what if it like moves from side to side? Like, what happened?
Yeah, because it's gonna slip around. Yeah, there's a whole art just in handles apparently.
Handles are from the devil. I have one cup that I kept from like when I was selling all those cups online, you know, back in the early pandemic, the Earl Dick.
Not
when you were still in Washington?
Oh. Yeah, when I was still in Washington. Sorry. I like pull it out sometimes and I use it and I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. Like, I'm so glad I stopped when I stopped because I feel like I was like, that was it. You know, like.
Do you think you'll ever make mugs again, or you're like, cups are it? That's it.
No mugs for
again. No more mugs. Oh, people, you better appreciate those Becca mugs because you ain't getting one.
You're not getting any more. I know. I had somebody email me last week saying, "Hi, I bought a mug in Leavenworth, Washington in 2015, and we loved it, and it just dropped and it broke, and I was wondering if you had any more." And I was
this is a big question. Do you replace the thing that you already made? Ooh, the conundrum.
Yeah, and I was like, nope.
I mean, it had a long life. 2015.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, for reals. Like it was like a P&W mug from 2015, and I was like, sorry, I'm not even in the Pacific Northwest anymore. Like I don't even live there. But I was like, good luck. Oh, and also they wanted it for Mother's Day. It was they emailed me, that's what it was. They emailed me the Monday before Mother's Day and said, "I'm wondering if you have any in stock of P&W mugs that I could have for Mother's Day." And I was like,
that's funny.
Not it.
At least they worded it like, do you already have them made, instead of like,
correct.
Can you make things from scratch and mail them across the country?
Yeah, that was appropriate. Thank God. But no, I won't make things that are old. That like somebody, and I think that that's something that I wouldn't have said no to probably 3 years ago. Like, just recently, somebody.
Is that for your own sanity, or is that mostly because you feel like they're going to be picky because they want something exactly like it used to be because they have these memories with this thing? And
yeah, it's like that one somebody who was a friend back in the day, now an acquaintance, but she messaged me and I made her a 18-piece set. Okay.
Wow.
She has a family of 4. So I made her 18 dishes. 18 plates, 18 small plates, 18 bowls, 18 small bowls, I think. And she broke one, and it's because they have large family dinners, like for Thanksgiving and stuff. And she broke one of the bowls. I think it was 18. She broke one of the bowls and emailed me like 2 months ago and was like, "Can I get another one of these bowls?" And I was like, "I can't. Like, I don't have the clay. I do have the glaze, but I don't have the clay. And no, I don't have the measurements. Even if you send me a picture, I'm not going to get the shape right. Like, it's not going to be the same." And
when did you make them?
2018.
Yeah. Your throwing style, like, imagine trying to make something that you made 4 years ago in the same throwing style.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, I think it was like the wide bowls. But yeah, it's just like, God forbid, you buy something at Sears and it goes out of stock. Like, that's the same thing.
I think that might be exactly it, is that people hope that being handmade, as long as you're not dead, you should be able to recreate it. And that's not how it goes. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Even making a set of bowls, like 1 week to the next week. I'm like, I can tell I made those bowls at the same time that I made this set of, this set of 15 bowls looks a certain way. And if I make my next set of 15, they're not really going to look exactly the same.
Right.
Just because of the hand motions and the rhythm of what I did. And I'm not super particular with like the depth and the width and stuff and measuring that. I just do it based on how I'm feeling when I'm throwing that set. So they don't really look the same.
I think that's what's so beautiful about handmade, is that they're all a little different.
Yeah,
I'm surrounded and they do end up being kind of limited.
It's true. I'm surrounded by a lot of the pots that I have made because Rebecca's doing a photo shoot tomorrow. And I'm looking at these bowls, like the Becca bowls that I make. Like, sometimes they're wider and sometimes they're like not as wide. And like, I am the first one to admit that I am not as consistent as I could be. Like, I could be a hell of a lot more consistent. But like my other coworkers, Merritt, she's like a fucking machine. Everything she makes is exactly the same. It's incredible. And I guess, I don't know if I don't care or if it's, I don't know. I don't know. I get them pretty damn close, but still, like, a quarter of an inch you can tell when you have a whole set. And so, but yeah, it's the same thing. Like, even measuring every single time, you're going to have differences.
I was just thinking, like, if you threw those with 1.25 pounds 3 years ago, 1.25 pounds now that you threw with would be bigger, probably, because you're way better at throwing than you were 3.5 years ago.
Maybe. It depends on how hard the clay is, how soft the clay is. But that's what, I mean, I have all of my measurements. Like, I have my shrink ruler and I measured everything. But, yeah. I can't imagine it turning out good at all. Yeah, I'd probably break into it anyway.
Yeah.
No.
I like I'm like kind of intentionally a little different from one to the next because I feel like it keeps me sane to not nitpick over the small details. Because I'm like kind of like the people that have issues with something and they're like, how do I save this? It's like, if I had to worry about the little details of like one little piece compared to the next one, like, I would go crazy. Yeah. That's why it's like a little wabi-sabi, but a little bit like, I know this is good for me to not worry about that.
So. Yeah. It's funny that, like, Terry, or the person that was our old client that was so much, like, so particular, that, like, had the biggest account, she was very, very particular. And because she was so particular, I, like, really tried to make everything the same. And they always ended up being fucking different. And I was like, Rebecca, can you please just fucking tell Terry not to worry about it? Because if I don't worry about it, then they'll turn out way more similar than they will if I do. Like, like, just, like, not putting the pressure. Yeah, just, like, not. And I think that's why I don't stress about the little differences in Rebecca's, because I know she doesn't care that much as long as the shape is there and they're, like, pretty similar. Because, when you ship it out, you find the ones that match. And But I mean, I've definitely gotten better. But
So that didn't improve over time because the customer trusted, the client trusts you over time and you get
no,
a
she's
little
fucking
bit more
nuts.
leeway. Okay. I had a little bit more leeway with certain customers because they're like,
yeah,
they know that they're going to sell, so they don't worry about it and they leave it to me a little bit more, which
yeah. No, this
makes it more enjoyable.
This is an
I've got some
extremely
customers
rich
that prefer
human
that.
being.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, I feel like I'm getting more, and sometimes you can spot it a little bit with like wholesale questions and stuff, the way they word things and what they're asking for. You can kind of spot that it's going to be, oh, they're going to give me some freedom, and they're not saying like you can do whatever you want just as an afterthought comment.
Yeah,
I started putting that into when I'm talking about wholesales. If people are approaching it with me and they want to say, I want a whole line of something, I will tell them I work better if I have creative freedom and I don't have to make the same thing again.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Yeah, I had to give a wholesale client like a line sheet sort of with like the approximate dimensions, and I was like, oh my gosh. Ugh. But
yeah, I would get for that. I'd be like, I can make
it was like
mugs.
Approximate, and the photos I sent were like, they'll look kind of like this, but it's not gonna be exactly like this. But as long as they kind of get the gist.
I think,
I might lose my marbles if I had to do
that.
that.
I don't have every single color of every single form to show you. Like a cross section, and you could pick from a chart. Like,
I don't know. I feel like if you have to get that specific, then you could shop at Walmart. I don't know.
Yeah.
So part of being handmade is having that inconsistency a little bit.
Oh. Okay, there we go. Yeah, but I mean, also like when you're doing something like Rebecca, it really does matter to have things that are like the same. It depends on what you're doing. Like, are you doing production pottery? Are you studio potter? Like, you have to define who you are. I think that's the biggest thing, right? Like what you said, you're like, this is what I'm good at. And I think that that's the biggest thing when you're talking to like a wholesaler, like being like honest about who you are and what your boundaries are at the very beginning, to be like, here's the deal. Yeah. This is what your expectations should be. And don't fucking like tell them things that you can't fucking do. Like, do not make yourself better than you are.
Like, some people don't accept that though. I have noticed that sometimes if you do say straight out, like, I'm not comfortable with this, I don't think I've got the skill set for this, some people are like, oh, I believe in you, you can do it, sweetheart.
Oh yeah, and then you're like, okay, but just so you know, I warned you. We have it on writing, like in a recording.
It might take me a year to get this, and it might still suck.
And hopefully you don't agree on a price already if you're like iffy on it.
Yeah.
Luckily, I'm still new enough that I have not had any bad experiences, so I'll keep up with that. Let's hope it stays that way.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed on that one, yeah.
Do you have any wholesale clients, or are you kind of scoping it out sometimes?
I have a couple. I've got they've come to me so far. I haven't gone to seek any out yet, which I've been very lucky. That is a super lucky thing to have people come to me and say, hey, I would like to give you my money.
Yeah, that is nice.
And they could just come on a random Tuesday, and then you're like, can I handle that? Do I want to handle that?
Yeah. The biggest wholesale order I had was there's a shop in the Kawartha Lakes region that ordered it was like 24 mugs, 24 bowls, all different. A bunch of incense holders. What else did they order? A bunch of things, lots of things. And it was huge. And I did say, like I said to you, just I work best if I can just wing it and have a general style about it. But they were like, yeah, you go ahead. You just do whatever you do. And I ended up making like 30 of everything and showing them off and saying, of this, which ones do you want me to omit? And that worked out really, really, really beautifully. I love that. That was great. And I hope all of my clients for the rest of forever are like, yeah, just do what you do. We love it.
Nice. And the items were sellable that you did not sell to them, I'm guessing, right? Like, it was just your everyday line of work. You just made them specifically for them.
Yeah, it was just a big old box of stuff, and I was like, this is what I got. This is what I came up with. You good? And they were, and that was great. They said they sold the mugs within like a month, so that's great.
Nice.
4 mugs.
Did you?
So did they reorder?
Yeah. I haven't put it together yet. They said sometime in May, so I'll get on that.
Oh, nice.
Working towards that now.
It is sometime in May, right now.
It is.
Yeah, exactly. They're in my damn boxes. They're going.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are there certain forms or certain pieces that you won't do because the price point just doesn't work for you because of the effort and time and stuff?
Like flasks, buttercrocks?
No, I meant like in her typical line of work.
I've never attempted to make a buttercrock, and I don't think I ever will, because listening to the two of you be like, buttercrocks! I don't think I will.
Don't.
No, I don't think so. I try to price accordingly to the point where sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I would pay this much money. Like a berry bowl, I charge like $55 Canadian for a berry bowl, or up. It's at least that much, and that's just because there's holes and stuff, and you have to glaze them kind of carefully so you don't have the color going all over the place.
Do you
the bowl?
Oh my God, that's what we can trade, Aleatha. I need a berry bowl.
But would you prefer a piece of Tupperware with holes drilled in it?
No. Like, that is legit something I need, like a colander that's like a medium size.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, listeners, I'm getting me a cup. I'm so excited.
She was like, hey, do you want to trade? Do you want to trade? I said, do you want to trade pottery? Because she had mentioned that she wanted one of the fancy cups. And I was like, do you want to trade? And she's like, you don't want to trade me. She said, you don't want what I have. You want a fucking Tupperware pitcher. And I was like, that's true.
Could you trade Tupperware with somebody, Becca?
I would so trade Tupperware with somebody. Maybe. I'd have to be able to use it. That's where I'm at right now. Like, I can use a colander of sorts. Like, I have a small one, and I only have a small one. I don't have any big ones. But I could use a colander. Like, I'm trying to figure out things that I need and you could use. So, like a juicer. I could potentially use a juicer in my future.
We have a couple juicers here that you could probably take one of ours and try it out and see what you think.
I mean, I have one of the foldy ones. It's like I juice a lot of limes, but it'd be fun to have like one that I could put like, yeah. I used to make those. Not making those again.
I've never tried it. It seems a thing to attempt, but I'm not sure if it would stick with me.
I think that ceramic
thing. I don't know.
You always get a crack in the bottom, always, on the pointy part, and in the inside. Ryan, have you made the juicers?
No, I have not.
I find it very doubtful that very many ceramic juicers work really well.
Yeah, they're just so specialty too. It's like, for one, how often do you use a juicer?
Every day.
And then,
but like, it's fine.
And then
use a juicer quite
if
often,
you do use it every day, you probably appreciate a pretty quality item for that.
Yeah.
And could a ceramic juicer beat other juicers?
I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah. I think my Tupperware juicer is pretty good. I don't know. It has a little catch thingy. I don't know.
You're gonna have to send me that picture of that. Yeah, like my juicer is, the little squishy one, the handle, where you cut it in half and then you put it inside and squish it down.
Mm-hmm.
Like a potato ricer, but for juice.
Yeah, like a potato ricer, but for juicing, limes and stuff. But yeah, I know that's it. Like, so the problem I have with juicers is that like you do have to have a sharp surface to rub it against, like moving it And then ideally you would want to have like bumps on it or something, if it was ceramic, that you could like really dig in. But I feel like most juicers that I see are very soft in the spiral, you know?
Yeah, because the glaze kind of smooths out all that.
Yeah, and that's not what you want.
No.
Right?
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
if you
I've
guys
seen
want to
some
send
that are
us
so
your
beautiful.
juicers. Oh, they're gorgeous. Yeah, if you want to send us your juicers to get an honest review, we'll give them to Carl. And
Carlos Critiques, bringing it back from the dead.
Critiques. A juicer edition. I don't know about this one.
I don't even know if he would know what it is.
Probably not.
He doesn't juice anything?
No, they don't.
Ryan's dad thinks that homemade biscuits are from the package. Like, he thinks that homemade biscuits are
I opened it at home, didn't I?
So
I love that.
And God bless him. And honestly, those are some great biscuits, to be honest. Like, they're great. And they're warm and they're fluffy. So they're fine.
I can get behind that. I think that's great.
Yeah, Bisquick.
The one thing I was thinking about, going back to the wholesale thing, I was wondering about I see he has a piece with gold. Like, are those things that you can still wholesale? I feel like those would be too expensive to wholesale, but maybe not.
Oh yeah.
I've consigned a bunch of them. I sent them to Pickle and Myrrh, just an adorable little store in Merrickville that sells the best caramels ever. If you want caramels, I'll put them in your berry bowl. I want to sell them to you. So good. I've already talked to your mom, Ryan. I'm going to send some to your mom at some point.
She's all about the caramels.
The caramels. Ryan's mom. If she finds out that we like a person, she's like, "Hi, how you doing?" And I fucking love her for that. Like, she's best friends with Heidi now, and she's so sweet.
Your mom's awesome, Ryan. So good. Anyway, I have sold some of the, well, not sold, but consigned some of the gold things with Pickle and Myrrh, and they seem to have gone really well. I brought in a whole bunch of berry bowls that sold like in a day or two, which were great. They all had gold accents to them. Personally, I'm skeptical about selling the gold because I personally don't buy anything that I can't put in the dishwasher. This is the same with clothes or anything else that you have to use an appliance for, because if I can't just throw everything in there, you know.
If you can't put your clothes in the dishwasher, fuck that shit. Like,
you know what I mean? Come on. Stuff that takes extra little bits of love and care.
I completely agree.
Like a cup that's like hand wash only.
I didn't know you weren't allowed to put gold in the dishwasher.
You can. It'll just eventually erode and wear off a little bit because overglaze, it doesn't have as much strength as the underglaze.
Yeah.
Overglaze.
And you can't put it in the microwave.
No, sparks.
You can, but bad things will happen.
Dude, the other day I put like a bowl that had like leftover pasta or something in the microwave, and I just didn't realize that my fork was in there, and it just like went in the microwave. It survived. Like, there was no fire or anything. It would have been on par though.
That's so scary. Oh man.
Yeah.
So how much is one of the like tumblers with the gold on it? How do you determine how to price the gold stuff, you know? Because I hear it's expensive, but I just don't know.
Oh, it's so expensive. The bottle is smaller than my thumb. It's very small. I don't know how many milligrams that is, but the whole bottle, including the lid, is smaller than my thumb. It costs about $50 Canadian. It's a lot for your money. And you get, I don't know, some projects out of it, but not a ton. It does take another firing, of course. So I price it like basically if something costs $40, having gone through a bisque firing and a glaze firing, and then it also needs a gold firing, then that's half again. So $60.
Okay.
That was how I. the math.
Nice. I was about to say, like, I was thinking, like, in my head, $50 at least.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I love that. Anyway. I love that. You're like, you know what? This is a pain in my ass, and half of that ass is going into this cup.
Like, it's so expensive.
That's why I was like,
Andrew is so wonderful. He's the one who does all of the running to go get stuff and deliver stuff. So when he went and got this little bottle of gold, he didn't realize what it cost. And I was like, you can get it on this shelf in Amaranth, and it's wonderful. And he was like, this bottle smaller than nail polish?
Like, do they have it in one of the containers like for like razors at the grocery store? So you have to like get it unlocked at the counter?
Yeah.
It came in another box, yeah. It was like, it's so small. Here's a thing to contain it so you don't lose it in the bottom of your bag.
Yeah.
Or steal it.
I had to put mine. It's like the small one. I have gold in the small one. I had to put in a condiment cup to find it. That's how small it is.
Wow.
Yeah. They're so tiny. I think you can get them in bigger ones if you're a millionaire or something, but I'm not, so there's that. Yeah, I'm not going to commit to a $400 bottle of nail polish. I cannot do that.
No.
Yeah, that's nuts.
What if a cat like dropped it, like tipped it over? Oh my god.
Yeah, those must be in a very, very special spot.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd imagine there's just some pieces you just can't put gold on, or if people request it, like, it's really got to be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to ask.
Half the bottle, and it was like, I should be selling this bowl for $300. This is so much gold, but I didn't because who's going to buy a $300 bowl? And afterwards, I was like, why did I charge so little for this? But yeah, I hear you.
I was going to ask you if your partner did work too, or if you're like the sole person supporting.
We're a team with that. The amount of running around he does to deliver everything, I would definitely say that we're a partnership in this. He's been so supportive. Like the dude.
No, I mean, like, does he have a job too? Does he have a job too?
No, it's outside of Aleathabean. No.
Oh wow. Okay, cool. So
of course, this is us. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow, you guys are fucking killing it.
So did you both kind of do the full time together at the same time, and you both did that when the pandemic hit, sort of, or?
He did freelance jobs before and wasn't having a ton of them before anyway. So I mean, he was a photographer a long time ago. So obviously photo session stuff wasn't happening when everybody's weddings and stuff were canceled anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he was already kind of leaning into not doing that much anyway. So when I started doing this more, he was already doing a lot for the household as though I was the one doing the full-time work. Because before doing this, I was doing full-time work, and so he was kind of the domestic one. So now he's doing the domestic stuff, but also doing a shit ton of work for Aleathabean, which is really fantastic. I don't know how many kilometers he put on the car this month, but it's a lot because he's driving Ottawa and Kingston everywhere to do all this.
So he's putting a lot of. Is he doing some hands-on stuff too with the work before it's done, or is it mostly the transportation and getting supplies and stuff like that?
He does some hands-on stuff too. He does almost all of the waxing unless I get to it first, which I usually don't. So he does most of the waxing. He does most of the sanding when, like, if it's a wobbly pot, he'll sand it. He is a little. I don't want to say he's more detail-oriented, but he's small detail-oriented. So he would be the kind of person who would do things like you, Becca, where he would like sand the crap out of it to make it super smooth. And then I'd come in and be like, I'm glazing it. You don't have to do that.
You're like, I did all this work for nothing.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
He does a lot of the hands-on stuff too. Yeah.
That's obviously, I mean, that's a real testament to obviously your relationship is to be able to even work together without killing each other is, that's a lot.
Yeah. I would say our relationship, without getting too mushy for the whole world to hear, but I would say that our relationship is better now than it was pre all of this. Like,
that's amazing.
We lean on each other a lot more than we used to.
Yeah.
Or at least I lean on him, the poor guy.
Is that because you all were forced to be like at the house at the same time during like when pandemic hit, that you kind of had to figure things out in a different way than you might have in the past? Because I'm guessing doing hair, you were outside of the house, right? So you all didn't see each other as often.
Yeah. I went to a salon, so I wasn't doing hair in the house. So I would be gone 9-10 hours a day. And yeah, he has to put up with my presence more. He has to be around me more. So let's hope that he likes me still. We've been together for like 12 years, so something like that. So it's not like we didn't hang out before this, but I think, I don't know for sure, but I think just the fact that we are working towards the same goal and doing the same work is something that we're a little bit bonding over. And he can see the work being done. So he's like, oh shit, babe, you've had a really productive day. Like yesterday I had all my pots like lined up on the railing of the deck. And he's like, wow, look at you go. Nice.
Yeah.
So I think that tangible right in front of us, both working towards the same goal, has been good for us.
That's awesome.
Is that like you're in tandem with the planning goals and stuff like that? Or is it still ultimately like you're the one in contact with clients and like, hey, we got this new order coming in and this is the plan for the week? Or is he more integrated with everything more?
I am 100% the front man on that. I do all of the talking to people online and the deals and the what we're doing and the what we're not doing. He does all of the person-to-person interactions when he drops everything off at the stores. And at the end of this market that I did, he knows the organizers' husbands who pick things up from the driveway to get things all in the
oh, nice. Okay.
This thing. So it ends up being that people know him from all the drop-offs, but they know me from the communications.
Okay.
That's great.
So would he work at a sale with you if you did a tent sale or something at a show?
Yeah, we've only done one. Last fall we had one in Merrickville that was, holy smokes, that place was nuts. It was hopping. I don't know how many people were expecting, but we were like completely blown away by how many people showed up. Thousands of people showed up to this thing. They were lined up like 2 kilometers down the road in their cars waiting to get into this event. It was nuts. It was constant. It was great. We made a butt ton of money. It was so good.
Yay.
And he was there. He was at the tent sale with me, and he was doing like we had like the little square reader on the phone. So we were kind of taking turns between who would handle the transaction and who would wrap the pots. And
nice.
Yeah. Since it was such an underestimated turnout, a little bad thing that they will fix this year because they realized how popular the event is. There was only 3 porta potties for thousands of people.
Wow.
So we stood in line for 45 minutes. And I've got some gut issues. So that was a long time for me. And he just manned the booth completely by himself for that whole chunk of time. So
and it wasn't in like a populated area where there's businesses that you could go to, small businesses right nearby to share the load.
It was in a farm.
Jeez.
In the middle of nowhere.
That's brutal.
But they know next year when they put on the event again, hopefully they put on the event again, they're like, okay, we know. We'll have a whole bank of them because
you don't expect it.
And for what they expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was probably not a lot of competition of shows and stuff going on, so people wanted something to do.
Yeah, and I would imagine Honey Bucket doesn't do emergency calls.
Is that what's Honey Bucket? Like the porta potty?
Yeah, I guess.
I was thinking Rumpke, but
yeah, Honey Bucket is the porta potty company in Washington.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry. Which is kind of a weird name, Honey Bucket.
I was just thinking that, like, there's no honey happening.
That doesn't sound like a porta potty company.
Yeah.
Is it a big yellow porta potty?
Yeah. No, they're blue. How many pieces do you think you make a day? Like, when you make like wet pieces, how many do you think that you would make in a day?
Well, it depends on the season. So in the middle of wintertime, when I'm in my little tiny basement, I've only got the tabletop. That's it. I run out of space. It can hold 3 dozen bats, and that's that. When I fill up the table, do fucking bat, I guess. So now that I'm outside, I've got the entire deck, and I can just put them everywhere. So in a day, in the wintertime, 3 dozen. That's my limit, unfortunately. And in the summertime, there is no limit. It's been great. I've been enjoying it. Just today, I weighed, threw, and trimmed and got in damp boxes, and some of them actually in the kiln, 4 dozen pieces.
That's not fucking bad. That's like,
wow.
Yeah.
That's
to do all the trimming and stuff too. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
And I mean, all the carving is,
Wow. Yeah,
Whoa,
that's like, because if you're throwing and trimming, you can equate that to basically 1.5, because trimming usually takes like half. Does it take about half the time as throwing?
That's the same.
I do
a full foot on the bottom.
Okay, so 2. So it's like
and
double.
Carving. Carving
so
is
if you
another...
did 48, you really did, 96 pieces essentially, because the trimming counts as a piece,
Plus the carving, you have to add at least half on top of that.
Yeah.
Maybe even another.
Carving probably takes more time, to be honest.
Yeah, carving probably takes like...
Carving probably takes as much as the throwing and trimming combined.
I would say at least 3 times whatever she made on the wheel. Like, multiply that by 3, and that's like how much pieces. Yeah.
If I could do just constant throwing without stopping to like rearrange and that kind of thing, I could probably do about, I don't know, 6 dozen in a day.
Well, I think you could probably do more. If you did all that today, so you started with 48 pieces and you trimmed 48 pieces and you carved 48?
I carved probably 15 or so.
Okay, so you carved... Okay. And then you carved 15. That's 80. That's probably equivalent to about throwing... let's see, 80...
probably at least 100.
That's too much, man.
I don't do that kind of...
I was just
I know a mug
number
takes
out
me
there
about 5-6 minutes to throw, and about maybe 4 minutes to trim. So about 10 minutes to throw and trim a mug, and then the carving depends on how serious it is more.
So just time wise, and I'm not counting the carving here. Just time wise, no, I am counting the carving. That was wrong. Plus. It's probably like 120 pieces, at least. That's not fucking bad in a day.
Yeah.
If you were the only one throwing, you could probably get that done in a day. 120. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is not
Andrew's
bad.
tried to throw a little bit. He's not a fan of that part of the hands-on part.
Would he prep the clay for you?
Yeah. He'll weigh it out, and I'm trying to teach him to wedge. He's not a super big, I don't know, he's not super, it takes some practice, so he's not super good at it yet, but he's getting there, and he's willing to work, and I love that about him so much. So you should
teach him how to trim.
Actually, I just did a charity event. I threw like 25 bowls or something to send off to this thing called Empty Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they do soup bowls. He trimmed 3 of them. One of them ended up having like really cool chattering on it completely by accident. I kept that one. That one's mine. I put another one in for my own clay but it's really neat. And he was just looking at it like, oh, I don't know what happened here. And I'm like, fucking magic. That's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it.
Well,
piece was probably a little bit too dry, but
yeah.
But yeah, the effect looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
The whole foot has like this really cool wobble to it. It's really beautiful.
Aw, I love happy accidents.
I know, me too. Yeah. He says that I make it look easier than it actually is. And so when he sits down to do it, he realizes it's kind of hard.
People tell me that all the time, and I always respond with, well, if I didn't make it easy, I wouldn't be paid for it. If I didn't make it look easy, I wouldn't be paid for it.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, if I wasn't any good at it, geez, I'd make like 3 things a day that worked out, and that's not going to pay the bills.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we should go pretty soon, but I did want to ask if you wanted to ask us anything.
I had one more question that's relationship related about the partnership and stuff. So with this is probably related to a lot of other people that have this situation, but with you both, and even if you didn't both do the business, like, is it hard to figure out, because you're both at home, like, when is work time, when is, personal time, and then how to talk to each other in a way that's respectful of, like, I know we're in business together, but it's also like, being gentle as a personal side of it?
That's a really good point. I think we're still trying to work on that, because we're both still in the mode of like, this is brand new and neither of us know what we're doing. So we're still trying to figure that out. Luckily, we both kind of just talk pretty gently to one another anyway. He never raises his voice at me, and if he ever did, I'd be like, okay, well, anyway, bye. So I think we both know that.
Bye.
I don't know. We probably should sit down and make more of a solid schedule, but we already had a bit of a rhythm from before when I was working outside of the house. So, like, evenings are always just, unless I'm in the basement working on something, we sit down, and there are parts of the house that are strictly not for pottery. So if we're both hanging out in the living room, let's say, there's no clay in the living room, we're sitting down. And I think that's helpful too. So maybe it's less about the mental barrier and more about the physical barrier of like, this space is pottery and this space is not pottery.
That's really important when you own a house that you're working out of and in, When I had
and
my
I'm
house,
also terrified of silicosis. So I've heard your stories about having your wheel next to your bed, and that is terrifying. I didn't even know about that when I first started. I had that in my guest bedroom right across from my room. So, like, that's not good.
I didn't know about silicosis either. Yeah. There was like an older. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna say that story. Because we don't have time. Okay. Not because it's a bad story, but just because we don't have time. But yeah, I think that it, like, when you live in a space that you work in, it's so important to, like, like Ryan's studio is downstairs, and like when you go upstairs, it is their home,
Yeah.
And when downstairs is work,
Yeah. And some of the studio stuff creeps over a little bit, with the packing and shipping.
I'm noticing that it creeps. It does creep. Takes over.
It's hard to find that balance of like, okay, the only pots that are coming in this room are finished pots. I definitely make that barrier.
Yeah.
Like in process pot. I'm not, unless I go outside. I mean, maybe I'll take stuff to the backyard and like do stuff outside, but not yet.
But even so, where you are, Ryan, that's still your work area. It's still like designated pretty much. But yeah, I think that is really important, and that's a good subject to like talk about too, and to like really be aware of your boundaries, and like, make sure that you have like date nights and stuff, so that you're not like, because like Ryan and Rachel are really good about date nights and stuff. So
yeah, we've been trying to.
Yeah, you are. That's excellent.
We've been trying to do Friday nights, or like, even if we don't go out, it's just like if we do something, and sometimes we'll like take it off and like not do it because we'll have plans over the weekend to go visit family or go to a concert or something. So it's like, that's gonna happen. I think it's more for us. It's the because I'm trying to get Rachel more integrated into some of the business stuff. And
especially when you start going full time, are you going to end up being a pottery couple? Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know that she's going to be as invested in that part of it, but she's going to be more than she is now, just for the sake of time and like where the time gets spent. But I think it's more about how I talk, because sometimes I could be very short and direct.
That's true.
And
I'm a witness to that.
I'm not as like,
like worrying about people's feelings as much when it's my spouse. When I'm
their
going
communication styles are very different.
Yeah. So
like the way she wants to hear is not the way he talks sometimes.
Yeah, and my tone comes across very like direct. So it's figuring out that kind of stuff with the business, and that's just personalities as well as, if I was talking with other people, it would be more gentle or, just different.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Well, I think the thing is, you end up trusting your spouse not to flake on you versus somebody else that is like, well, I'm not gonna put up with this.
Yeah.
Which
but
is
it's also
tricky
like,
because of course your spouse is the one you want to be the kindest to.
And it's kind of like if you work with somebody in a business relationship too, it's like I would not be as direct with them if I'm not as happy about something, or if it's like, tell me what you want me to help with, and some of it's like I want the initiative to be taken, that I don't have to tell you every single thing. But if it's your business, you can't expect them to love it and to own things as much as you want to. So
absolutely, yeah.
Expecting someone
Andrew
else
will
to
say very much that he wants a list.
Yeah.
He wants to be told exactly what to do. I have to struggle with that too a little bit. I am a little bit more short with my answers than I probably should be sometimes. But I think that's something that it's not a relationship thing. That's a personal thing. That's a thing you have to work on yourself. That's the thing I have to work on myself anyway.
I can tell you that I will never, ever, ever be in business with somebody I'm a partner with. Ever.
I never thought I would either. It just sort of happened this way.
No, and I think it's great
my
that
job,
you're,
and
Yeah, I if I say that because I don't think I'll be able to last it.
It's definitely like a the financial side of it. You don't have to pay for extra labor, but there's a boundary there, right? Because you're paying for
not slaves.
a certain type of relationship with an employee versus a spouse, where it's like you're both in it together, and it makes more financial sense because you don't necessarily pay them the same way, because you both end up owning the money when the sales happen. So the labor,
you very much have to look at it like one big pot.
Sort of, but it's different in that way. But
when you find that out, you let me know, because I'm sure everybody who works with their partner could use more advice and more opinions on how that works for other people to make sure that doesn't fall apart.
You know what, I'm thinking about the episode that we had with Carrie and Josh, but I can't remember the number, but we had an episode with Josh Heim and Carrie Heim, and they work together, and she's a very, they're a good team because she's very cut and dry, very much a Ryan type, need a list, has
she's very
a goal,
analytical and very
analytical,
heavy.
very numbers heavy. He is very aloof in the best way. He's just like, he'll tell you himself, he's like a 12-year-old kid. He loves life, and he's like, yay, we get to do pottery, and she and they're a really good team because she keeps him in line, and he keeps her in, breaking the rules a little bit, they kind of work off of each other that way.
That was episode 31. Pottery, 31. Flowers, and family with Joshua and Carrie Heim.
Yeah.
That was when you were actually in
I could use a little bit more Carrie.
Yeah.
Andrew is very supportive of me taking breaks, and he's constantly like, you shouldn't just be working 12 hours straight. And that's lovely, but also like, oh man, I could use a little more money. So so it would be nice to have a little bit more motivation, Carrie style, to say, get back to it.
Everybody needs a Carrie.
Yeah, it's a tough balance. It's like you can self-impose that you need break time, or just take time out of your busy day to go walk, or take care of your yard a little bit or something like that, where it's you just do it for the sake of taking a break and doing something without I'm getting more appreciating more doing things without sound, or like feeling like I always have to be actively doing something, like just going and walking in the back, like on the property in the backyard or something, or walking to go get my tea without having a podcast going, or watering the flowers. Like that's kind of nice.
Ryan, I can just see you as an old man, just like strolling in the backyard with a cup of tea, and like just like strolling.
Right there. That sounds great.
Yeah, just like strolling and like just stopping and just like staring at a leaf, and then continuing on.
I'd be more like, I see a neighborhood cat and I'm like, like if I'm walking and there's a cat out, I will literally stop and like, call them over if they come over, and I'll like pet.
Did we see Isaac's
petting or cat? Yeah.
Did you see Isaac's stories with those kittens?
So cute.
Sweet mother of all that is holy. Those are the cutest goddamn kittens.
It's unleashed. He started sharing and he's out of the gate with them.
He doesn't like cats. He's gonna be a cat person by the end of this. He's not a cat person. I mean, like, he likes cats. He kind of likes cats, but he's not a cat person. They're more dog people.
Do they even have dogs?
They had a dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do you have to be one or the other? Can't you just be an animal person?
They're not animal people. Like, they got the dog for hobby, I think. But, like, but I think it's a great step for Isaac. And obviously, he loves mittens. He loves mittens.
Clearly.
It'd
take him an awful long time to share those kittens, but that's okay.
Jerk.
I did take part in the harassment. So sorry.
Thank you.
So Aleatha will appreciate this. We're teaching Marble a new trick with the treats. So it's kind of in its infancy, but Marble Pancakes has a little rivalry, not rivalry, like a.
It's like a long distance friendship.
2 peas in a pod.
Have no idea about.
Right? Like.
Yeah, they're 2 peas in a pod.
2 cats in a
hammock.
A hammock. A window
I
perch.
just pictured 2 cats in a hammock. That is an ugly scene.
They're flailing everywhere, and the hammock like swinging around or something.
Who would win in that hammock Thunderdome between Marble and
I don't know. I mean, you said Pancakes is only like 5 pounds. That sounds so tiny.
She's a little baby.
Was she the runt? Was she the runt?
She broke her hip when she was a kid, and I think maybe it stunted her growth because her whiskers are big enough that
maybe
she could have been
because she's a fluff ball. She just looks bigger than that. But
yeah, she does look bigger than that.
They're getting haircuts on Friday. I'm so excited.
Oh,
they're gonna look so ridiculous. I can't wait.
Make sure you do it before and after.
I will.
Vincent's the short hair though, right? But Nimbus and
he doesn't need a haircut.
Pancakes, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we got the short haircuts because we don't want the extra hair, but there's still hair everywhere. So she can already catch it in her off the jump, right? So we're trying to like hover it over her about 3 feet off the ground, and she'll go up for it, and then we kind of spin it, and she'll kind of do a little twirl, like trying to get it. So she'll do kind of like a 360, and then we toss it to her, and she catches it.
Ooh, that's cute.
Pancakes will get up like a little meerkat, but I don't know if she'll turn in circles.
Yeah. So Marble kind of like stands up on 2, and then I'm kind of moving it with my hand.
How did you learn that she was capable of catching treats? Both of them.
I think I've just tossed it to her before. I don't just put it on the floor. I would like toss it to her.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. I would hold it up for her, and then my dad, who was a cat person, his cat wants to chase it. So even if the cat's sitting in his lap, she might take 2 or 3, but eventually she'll get on the floor and be like, all right, let's do something. I want to run around. So he'll toss that treat. And I think he mentioned that to me sometime. And I tossed one for Pancakes, and she caught it. And I was like, oh my God, this is
amazing. Lloyd, he's a very smart cat until it comes to treats. Then he becomes an absolute idiot. But I used to call them and they'd jump on the table and that's where they got their treats. But like at the store. I've never seen a cat like Babs. Fucking Babs. I have these fish treats that Nick gave me. Thanks, Nick. They're like little minnows, and the cats fucking love them. And well, Lloyd loves them, and I give him one, and then I put one in front of Babs gently, and she looks at it. She looks back up at me, and then she looks at it again. She sniffs it, and then Lloyd eats it.
That's Vincent. That's how
but I've separated them. And she won't eat the treats. She will not eat them. She does not like treats.
Oh. Wow. She has a specific brand that she likes.
She ain't getting that in this house.
It's only very recently that Nimbus will come in on the treats because we've put her on a diet, and now she's decided she's hungry. She wants to have second breakfast and 11sies and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I love that name, Nimbus.
Nimbus, yeah.
She's a real cutie.
Yeah, she's a real fluff ball.
Yeah.
Until Friday.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Okay. So we'll see. We'll get the documentation of the marble treat trick.
I'm excited.
We'll see.
Me too.
And
then I'll see if I can get pancakes to do the same.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see if I can toss the treat to Lloyd and if he'll see it.
I think it's like.
I think you won't even see it.
I think it's like I
he'll
toss it to Autumn. Like Autumn is just, she doesn't follow the treat. She just like knows there's treats in the vicinity, but she doesn't like realize that it's like in my hand or something.
I tried to show Lloyd his sticker today that Savannah made for him, and he just ignored it. He was just like, and then he moved away, but he stopped meowing for a second, so.
It was a very cute sticker. I loved it.
I know. I did too. Yeah.
Wait, was that made just for Lloyd?
Yeah, it was my birthday present from Savannah.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Okay, it is 12:30.
Eastern?
It is.
What is that in Canadian?
12:30.
I'm in the same time zone as you.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Becca and I had this conversation. We were like, I don't know. Same as Toronto and New York and I don't know, places.
I don't know.
Well, we won't talk about the fact that the fucking time zones are absolutely ridiculous in this country. The countries. Our countries.
Same, yeah, I get it. It wobbles. But, there's one completely different time zone in Canada. In Newfoundland, it's like half an hour different than everything else. Why?
Of course.
Why?
Weird.
Why are they doing that? Just messing with us.
Yeah. Of course. I'm really happy that our first Canadian said a boot, and
a boot.
or oot. So thank you for that. That was lovely. That was lovely.
Yes.
Yeah. I didn't notice I did that.
It's okay. It's in your DNA.
It is.
I'll take it.
I think when you're born in Canada, it's just like comes out.
Oh, Canada.
I just emerge from my mother and go, oh, I'm sorry. I was about that.
I was about that. Give me some syrup.
That's it. We don't have baby formula here. We just have maple syrup. That's all.
That's why they're so nice.
Are there people that
no
carry
fact checkers
around,
on this one?
Are there people that carry around like maple syrup like Buddy the Elf? And like
all right, I have a funny story about that. Not normally, because that's really bad for you, but I used to have a flask of maple syrup that somebody gifted me. And I had it at my desk, like my station at work. I worked for a while at the Smart Style, which is the one inside of Walmart. It's like First Choice, kind of the same company. Before I went to the salon that I was at for like 10 years. Anyway, it's right at the front where all the cash registers were. So every once in a while, when I was like completely overworked and hadn't ingested any calories for who knows how long, I'd take a swig of maple syrup.
Oh my
God. And I am positive there must have been so many people at all of the cash registers being like, that stylist is like hitting the whiskey over there. And meanwhile, it's like shot of maple. Delicious.
That's amazing.
Love it.
That's great.
So good.
I feel like
I think we should.
Yeah. So
I feel like a place that makes syrup would be like a pretty interesting tour, like a brewery tour, but like a syrupy. I don't know.
Yeah. Smells good.
They probably have that kind of
syrup is a really big business. Real big. It's
and it's not across Canada. It's only in this part of Canada.
It's only in one part, yeah. There was a guy that stole like $2 million worth of syrup, I think. Gosh, he was on like a documentary thing. It was on like a documentary about money, and there was like a big syrup scandal.
Wow.
So it's a thing.
I think I've read that there's some sort of like Canadian maple syrup reserve or something. Maybe that's just an individual company. I don't know. Is there?
No. There is actually a Canadian maple syrup reserve, and it's a big thing. It's bad. Like there's if you don't like participate in their organization, they like cut you off, and it's bad. It's kind of like
a syrup mafia.
Yeah, it's kind of like Monsanto and is it Monsanto? Monsanto?
The seed stealing place?
Yeah, it's kind of like their situation in the United States where they like, if you don't comply with their wishes, then they bury you, essentially.
I know a lot of food industry is like that you have to follow every regulation and go through the processing plants of whatever food it is, or you don't get to sell it. It's a real issue. Like you can't just buy eggs down the street because they have to be processed the same way as every other egg.
Yeah.
Unless they're
have like certain chemicals induced into things that company owns, and like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's big processing for lots of things. And unfortunately, when you have such huge, I mean, this definitely doesn't have anything to do with pottery, but when you have such huge amounts of food coming through singular processing plants, you end up with, if one thing goes wrong, then like half of the country's food is contaminated. Yeah, pretty scary stuff. I want to have some chickens. That's where I go there. I want chickens and maple trees.
You have space for chickens?
No, I probably don't. I probably don't actually want chickens. They're real messy, but I like the idea of it.
I've never heard anybody hate their chickens, though.
No. I think I would love them so much that I would be like, I'm so sorry for stealing your eggs and maybe eating you later.
But their eggs are like their period. They want you to take it. They're like, get this bitch out of me.
Yeah, except I'd be bothering them. Be like, just excuse me, I know you're resting. Let me just take this thing from you.
The most heartwarming thing is watching Leanne from Alon Pottery with her ducks and chickens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So cute.
Oh my god. Yellow duck, Miss Fluffy Pants or whatever her name is, like the names.
So
sweet
cute.
Jesus.
I was
Medium
asking
duck.
I was asking her about that bus. I was like, you're gonna put that on your property? And she's like, yeah, that's for the chickens. I was like, oh, I thought that was gonna be like, I thought she was gonna make it like livable or something.
That's fucking great.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I just saw that the other day, but I guess I must have not listened to it. I was like,
that's great. That's probably gonna make them much safer and all that stuff. I saw there was another artist that had some chickens, and they were really sad because of fox or something,
Oh yeah, foxes and weasels, man.
And they didn't even like eat them; they just killed them and like left.
Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They look cute. Or not. No, they are.
We've had a fox curl up in the backyard before on a sunny day. It was kind of cute, but it was like Rachel was like, "That doesn't look like it." I was like, "Yeah, that's a fox. It's like, reddish, orangish. Yeah."
Yeah.
You got a lot of green space behind your new place, eh?
Yeah.
I thought we were going to get out of this podcast without her saying A, but we didn't. We didn't.
And then Rachel hears some coyotes sometimes at night. It's like weird. I don't know exactly where they're at.
We still have coyote down in ours.
But they're back there.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
I don't like them. Scary.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Let's wrap this thing
up.
Let's
go.
All right.
Where can we find you on the Instagrams? Oh, that was yours. I'm sorry, Ryan.
No, go for it. Where do we find you on Instagram?
Yeah.
Oh.
I am at RD Ceramics.
Aleathabean.
And it's Aleatha.
Aleathabean. Yes,
Where'd the bean come from?
Aleathabean. Okay, so in hairstyling, my boss that I had forever, her name is Sam, and I called her Samantha Bean. Or no, somebody in her life called her Samantha Bean. And she thought that was cute, so she called me Aleathabean. And that stuck. And that was a long time ago. And then she just started calling me Bean. And then she started calling me Bean Face. And now she just calls me Face. So
okay.
Aleathabean was a long time ago, but that was my handle on the internet a long time ago. So that's been it. Hey, Face! I call her Pants. Samantha Pants. So she's just Pants and I'm Face. Christmas cards are interesting.
Aleatha Bean.
Yeah, her whole family calls me Bean. It's cute. Yeah.
Love it.
It's stuck.
Nice.
All right.
Thanks
everybody for listening. Check her Etsy shop out as well.
Yes. Buy something.
You.
Yeah.
Now that we know it's cheaper to ship to Texas.
Yeah. I don't know if it always is. I won't say that it always is, but it seems to be a weird thing that one time. Yeah. But yeah, if you're American, I ship American too, because we're all on the same chunk of rock.
That we are.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
All right. Bye.
Thank you, Aleatha.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Yo, it's Becca here. Hey, just so you know, thank you for listening. And also, we have, what do we have again? A Patreon. We have a Patreon that you should go, and if you want to donate to, you could donate to it. If you don't, that's cool too. But just Google Wheel Talk Podcast Patreon. Don't do the other one, because there is a Wheel Talk on Patreon, but it's not us. So make sure you get the right one. It's in the show notes. And also, leave us a review because they're fun to read. Okay, bye!